The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
By tomorrow, I will rule the world!
You think he's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
Well, I must have not been paying attention when you were just talking to me.
Is there a show today? Is there a show today? Is there a show today? Where's the show? Is there a show? Is there a show today? Where's the show?
Hey, are you guys having a show today? You got 2 messages.
Is there a show?
Take care of the audience, Tom.
I know. Not supposed to shit what you eat, I guess. Coffee link.
Welcome in. Please like and share. So we can get more people in here.
Hey, Melvin Taylor's playing, I think, this weekend in Worcester. And if I wasn't completely booked up this weekend, I would actually take a drive out to Worcester to see him.
Oh, campaign year is so annoying.
Are you kidding? I love it. To me, it's like Christmas.
I hate it. You know
Although
why?
I agree with you that there are elements of it that are very annoying.
Like the fact that they take everybody to the State House and they give them like awards. And
It's all the fake.
it's so freaking fake.
It's all the fake shit that
Why
I
didn't
hate.
you do it last year?
Right.
These people didn't deserve an award last year? Is that what you're saying?
Like if Ryan Hamilton didn't have an opponent, he would have voted for that award. But it's an election year and he's got an opponent, so he's not.
Everyone.
And I'm not picking on Ryan, because at least he didn't vote for it. But I just suspect that if he was running unopposed, he would have voted for it like he voted for the $5 billion for illegal aliens and against Diana's bill. Oh, and by the way, I got Diana's column. She sent me her column for next week.
Diana Dizoglio?
It's all about Ryan. And I know I'm going to get blamed for it. I had nothing to do with it. I have no skin in the game at all in that race.
Behave, Tom. Everyone.
I actually like Ryan.
Me too. I think I like his
I wish he had more courage, but I do like him. And I
like
think
his
that'll
family.
come. I think he's young. I think he's going to make some serious mistakes because he's very young. And down the road, it's going to come back to bite him, and that's when he's going to start changing direction a little bit. Others in the legislature who should know better, by the way, who are not so young.
I can't wait to start already.
I know. Want to get the show on the road?
No, hold on. This part. I like this part.
It's like radar on MASH. Wait for it. The Indian girls even dancing in the studio. Kind of cute.
All right, you want to go? Let's go.
All right, hi, how you guys doing? My name's Tom Duggan. If you're paying attention, podcast high atop the Golden Seal Apothecary, which is closed every time I go down there. I don't even know why I talk about them. And
don't like you.
Magnolia. Actually, we should just forget the people underneath us because they hate us anyway. But we're right across the street from the plush and luxurious Valley Patriot offices and the best pizza place in the Merrimack Valley. And I'm not a pizza guy, right? So I'm not a pizza guy. I just want to say that up front.
I don't like sauce. Red sauce.
I'm not really keen on sauce, but Maria se fue. Maria se fue. Maria se fue.
Y Maria se fue.
Maria se fue. She went to Five Sons yesterday or the day before. She got me ice cream at JG's.
Oh.
And then she stopped at Five Sons and she got me a couple slices of
She
pizza.
loves you, Tom.
She really does. She really
You're
does.
so blessed. Everybody likes
you know what? The women in my life, for all the people who call me a misogynist, the women in my life are the most incredible people in the world. Like the women around me, the women who volunteer for me, the women who dote on me everywhere I go. You're right. I really am a lucky guy. There's no question about it.
Yeah. I think you're just easy to love. You know what I mean? Like you're like. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I've never heard
Yeah,
that.
it's in
actually.
Spanish. They say, "Tú eres fácil de querer." Like you're easy. You're somebody that's easy to love, basically.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. I don't get that. I've
Yeah.
never
I mean,
anybody told
you
me.
have a lot of people that hate you.
I've got a lot of
Yeah.
people who hate me. But although I think it's 50-50, like I don't want to, we have a lot to talk about today, but I think I'm very polarizing. So people either really, really love me, and they look at what I do and they admire it, or they admire that I say what they wish they could say because they don't want to lose their job or whatever, or they really, really hate me because I say things that they don't want other people to hear.
But that's actually a good thing. You either have to be black or you have to be white.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm not talking about race, please, people. But it's either black
Hold
or
the
white.
emails.
Yeah, it's either black or white. Nobody can be like in the middle. Like the gray area is not good. Actually, the Bible says that God doesn't like people who are warm. Because you're either hot or you're cold, but
Right.
never warm. He wants you to make decisions.
My
you know?
mother used to say, so when I was 18 years old, I registered to be a Republican
Okay.
on my birthday. And I went home and having dinner with Mom and Uncle Frankie and Danny, and we're sitting there, and my mother said, so it's your birthday? I said, yes. She said, so you registered to vote? I said, yes. She said, another Democrat. I said, not so fast. She went, the look of distraught on my mother's face was unbelievable. She went, oh, TJ, you didn't register as an independent. You know, the only thing in the middle of the road is roadkill. I said, not so fast. And she went,
What?
oh, you're not going to tell me you registered as a Republican. And I was in love with Ronald Reagan. I'm like, yeah, actually, I registered as a Republican. I loved Ronald Reagan.
Because of the example he gave about giving your money to the lazy people?
Yeah, well, and a lot of other stuff.
Okay.
So my mother was horrified. And she said, and I quote, and I'm going to forget it because I was horrified when she said it, because she was really upset when she said it. She said, you were born a Democrat and you will die a Democrat. You were born a Catholic and you will die a Catholic.
Oh, my God.
So now I'm a Republican Jew. So how did that work out? I
Oh, I'm
guess?
sure she's very happy.
But her point was she was on point, though, when she said, the only thing in the middle of the road is roadkill. If you try to please both sides, you end up pleasing neither side.
Okay.
You end up with both sides pissed off at you, and you have nobody on your side when you're in trouble. And there's a lot of people, especially politicians, lick their finger, hold it to the wind to see where everybody else is going. And because they do that on every issue, they tend to contradict themselves, which is why you see Democrats say stupid shit like Donald Trump is Hitler, and then in the next sentence, we need gun control. Wait, so you're telling me to turn my guns over to the government that's being run by Hitler?
And then they
run
hate,
by Hitler?
And then they hate Jews.
Right. Well, they hate Jews, but
Donald Trump is
but
Hitler.
they have to be They have to be anti-racist. But
Yeah,
they
but
hate.
does
But
that
they
make
hate the
sense?
Jews.
They're saying Donald Trump is Hitler, but they actually hate Jews.
Right. Well, that's because they always accuse you of what they're doing. Right. And that's a product of them knowing that they don't truly believe in anything. So if you don't truly believe in anything, you'll say anything. It's kind of like when you're arguing with a teenager who will just say anything to win a debate.
Yeah.
And they'll argue the exact opposite of what they argued yesterday when they wanted something different. And you catch them and you go, hey, wait. And then instead of sticking to topic, it's you're just picking on me. They make it about you. And that's the political scene that we have today.
Well, there was this congresswoman, I forget, she's not going to stay in her seat now for the next term in Texas. She's the famous, is it Jasmine?
Oh, Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, she was
The
complaining.
gift that keeps on giving.
She was complaining about the World Cup, saying that it was all racial thing and it was racism and things. And everybody's like, are you serious? Where was there racism? Spain had people who were black, who were brown, who were white, every color, and in both
There are
teams.
race merchants who profit off of racial
Not anymore.
conflict in the country.
Can I tell you something? That doesn't work anymore.
Well, it doesn't work with it works with weak-minded people. So you know who it works the most with? It works the most with
Purple hair?
liberal, purple-haired white women who
Okay.
are easy to emotionally manipulate because they've been on the pill too long and they've taken too many antidepressants, and so they've been emotionally manipulated to just do whatever they're told to do. And so whatever the pack is doing, they're pack creatures. Whatever the pack is doing, if the pack is calling Donald Trump a Nazi, they'll call Donald Trump a Nazi, even if they don't even know what a Nazi is, because that's just they have to be part of the group. They have to belong. There's this desperate need to be part of something.
Sponsors.
Let's get to the sponsors. You are right. Sorry about that. Let's start with who are our sponsors. We have a long list of sponsors. And by the way, if you'd like to sponsor the show, if you'd like to sponsor the podcast, what you get is over here, you get, and sometimes it's at the bottom, but right now when it's a close-up shot, it's on the side, you get your business card or your business information, like Town Roofing, and with all the information. And then I'll mention you at the beginning of the show and the end of the show. And sometimes throughout the show, I might mention one of our sponsors just to give them a little free airtime. If you don't advertise in the Valley Patriot, it's $75 a week. If you advertise in the Valley Patriot, it's $50 or less a week, depending on how long you advertise.
Okay.
So if you come in for like 3 months, I might charge you $50 a week. If you come in for a year, I might charge you $25 a week because you're a print advertiser. And my goal in life is to keep the paper going. So if we can use this show to subsidize the paper, I'm happy to do it. Also, if you are someone who helps TMF, I will throw you a free ad from time to time, both in the paper and on the show. If you're helping a charity, if you're a business that's helping a charity, and you're not doing the selfie while you're handing somebody a sandwich, you're just doing it for the right reasons, then we'll also throw you some free love because we want to help the businesses that are helping the community.
Of course.
One of the reasons why we have a free ad over here somewhere for JG's Ice Cream. I got like a little tickle in my throat.
Wow.
So
We'll be right back. Tom's coughing away. I don't know what's going on. Hi, Ricky Andrade.
Ricky, live from Vegas.
Oh,
Holy crap.
oh, you okay? Oh, guys, I think we're gonna have to we might have to cancel the show today. You good? Let me know when you're ready.
Tom's dying on the air. Listen, you have my what I call my Paul Morano instructions. If I die, if I collapse on the air, you do not cut that video. I want it all to go out live. I want my viewers to know what really happened before the Tribune fucks up the story.
I'm the producer at the side.
No, you got to keep it going. Like if I have a heart attack live on the air, you got to keep it because I don't want because the Tribune will screw up the story of my death because they screw everything up. So I want my viewers, my readers to know what really happened. I want them to see for themselves.
You're the person who talks the most about dying, and you're gonna live to like 90.
Wow. If only that was true. Well, I've already died twice, so I'm kind of a little conscious of.
Death.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of forefront of my mind. It's weird because when I watch TV late at night and I'm in the office and it's on in the background and something comes on like The Twilight Zone and I look and I go, wow, every single person in that episode is dead now. Like every single person that was in that episode is no longer alive because they're all done like 1954, right? So maybe there's one or two people that might be in a nursing home somewhere, but for the most part, most of those people aren't around anymore, and it's not going to be long before we're not around anymore. So I'm always very conscious of.
Yeah, my favorite quote is, "In 100 years, no one's gonna care."
Right. Yep.
It's the best thing. You ever consider going to a nursing home?
Well, they were when I was in the hospital. They were actually doing the paperwork to put me in an assisted living because they said I'd never walk again. They said I'd never walk again. I'd never tie my shoes again. I'd never be able to write my name again. My dexterity was completely gone.
Oh, wow.
And they were actually doing the paperwork to put me in either a nursing home or an assisted living facility. And it was it's one of the reasons why I worked very hard to learn how to walk again.
Oh, got it. Can't win that saying breaking news. LOL.
All right, so we're gonna get to our sponsors, right? We're way long here. Hold on.
Sorry, guys. One of those days.
Right? This is going to be one of those days where we're going to spend the whole day not talking about anything. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate, Brando's Cutlets in North Andover, Brando's Cutlets in Haverhill, and because of Billy Griffin over here at Brando's, Billy from Brando's, we're going to be live Monday at 6 o'clock at Dinoland in Salisbury with Billy from Brando's, who is sponsoring a free night. Now, you want to talk about what a great guy this is? He's sponsoring a free night for all the TMF volunteers that feed the homeless at Dinoland to go and enjoy so you can come if you want to bring.
Is that Monday or another day?
It's Monday night.
Oh,
so we're going to broadcast live from Dinoland because Billy Griffin is paying for all the TMF kids that volunteer to help the homeless to go to be at Dinoland for the night. So we're going to do the podcast from there. And I thought, what a nice thing he's doing for them. And hopefully Dinoland's going to kick a little in to take care of our expenses.
We need Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we need Wi-Fi and
extend like a connection, like electricity.
And I have a stand. I actually found the stand that we were looking for at Brando's.
Leave it
at
the
live thing. All right, so where else? We're an hour into the show and we've done two sponsors and nothing else. Town Roofing, Chachi's Junk Removal. Oh, I love these people right there at the top, right there at the top. Boston Medical Center. I love those people. Also, Cedar View Homes. Nice that just came. That just came up. Cedar View Homes is a nursing home facility on Jackson Street in Methuen, right by the high school.
The little pond is.
CP Connects. That's Karina Papalaudo, who is running her own little marketing group. And you know who else we forgot? Who we didn't put on the list? Hungry Traveler. Do we still have them in rotation?
I believe so.
Hungry Traveler. Hungry Traveler. The Zini Pesh law office over there. They're Italian. You know how you know they're Italian?
How?
Say hello to them within 30 seconds. They're going to mention how Italian they are. On the Go Notary. Free shout out to them. Marson and Son Construction. My buddy, Joe Solomon. I don't give a shit what anybody says. EIS investigation and gun training. Joe Solomon, when I was in my coma, he was there every single day with my family, asking my mom what she needed, going to get them lunch. He sat by my side. They thought I was going to die. They were actually planning my funeral, and he was there every single day for my family. So people could say whatever the fuck they want about that guy, but don't say it in front of me because we're going to have a problem. AFC Urgent Care, we're going out next Thursday with Zaka and Tamara. They are really nice people.
I like her name, Tamara.
I do too. And you know what? She's really nice. We were told, because they're Muslim, we were told by someone who knows them, some really scary...
Wait, they practice the religion?
I don't think they really practice...
So Muslim, it means is religion. If they're from Middle East, they're Middle Eastern.
Well, right, but they identify as Muslim. So when I ask him, he says, we're Muslims.
Oh, okay. Maybe they grew up in
But
it.
they're probably Muslims the way I was a Catholic. I ate meat on Friday. I didn't go to church.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
And then they turned out to be the nicest people. We were warned by someone that they do business with about what a horrible people they were. And then we met them in person, and I kept looking at Nancy going, I can't believe we believed that other person. Like, they're the nicest people alive, and they do so much for the community. Do you know Zaka and Tamara donate tens of thousands of dollars for scholarship kids in the Merrimack Valley? Not just, forget the Bash. They North Andover,
top-notch
scholars. I know, and I keep trying to get them away from top notch because you know who's on that board.
Who?
Kelly Frazier's mom is on that board. Sharon Birchall's on that board.
Yeah, but it's to help the kids.
Well, if she's
She doesn't
involved,
get paid.
if
She
she's
doesn't get
involved, I'm not too sure.
I know the director. She's
You
good.
do?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt for now. Veteran Pathways, AFC Urgent Care. We did that. Pleasant Valley Landscaping Contractors.
My hair is down today.
Right. Look at that. With the intern girl cam. Don't go away from that too fast. There she is. Wow. Look at. I get so many emails. I swear to God, I get so many emails from people going, You show intern girl, and then you go away from her right away. We want to see her. We want to see we want to take it in. So look at how cute she is. My God.
I feel like a little girl when I come here.
You do?
Yeah, I feel young, and
Well,
I'm not.
Then my job here is done.
Yay! Thank you,
That's
Tom.
kind of like that's what I was going for, actually.
Thank you, Tom.
That's why I call her intern
I keep
girl.
forgetting how old I am.
Pleasant Valley keep coming. Prime Insurance, the Duggan Councior Law Office. Free shout out to JG's Ice Cream. And Paul Lambert at Lambert and Randone. And also, they're not a sponsor yet. We're trying to get Michael's to come on as a sponsor. But we were at the grand opening of Michael's Bistro on Essex Street. It's right at the site of the old In-Town Mall on Essex Street. It was a really nice...
Northern Nexus.
Yep, it was a really nice night. There were a lot of really good people. I was a little annoyed that I don't want to poo-poo it. It was a great night. But I was a little annoyed that somebody who's in the media saw me do a selfie with the mayor. I posted it on Facebook, and they decided because they were in the media that they could come to a private event and walk around and do videos. And I'm not going to say who the person is because it's not about shaming the person. It's about people being self-aware, right? So she comes in and she walks around and she's doing pictures and she's doing video. And she does a video, and on the video she's saying to people, "Hey, come on down to Michael's Bistro." It was a private party. By invite only. She wasn't invited. And now she's on video, live on Facebook, inviting the public to a private party. So I tried nicely to say, this person asked me why I didn't bring you. And I said, because I was invited. I wasn't invited.
I wouldn't want to go anywhere.
I wasn't given a +1. If I was given a +1, I would have invited her.
Yeah.
But I was invited. She was not invited, so it's not my place to invite her. And this person said, yeah, well, I'm media. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't mean shit. This is a private party. And didn't leave when I said that.
A lot of people are trying to get Michael to buy ads for the.
And they're using me to do it. By the way, if Michael Agricola is listening, I did not authorize anybody to go talk to you about doing advertising with them. I haven't even asked you to advertise with me yet. So
there was already a marketing agency in Lawrence that's trying to do business with him.
I bet.
And Michael, let me tell you, those people
do not do business with them.
Don't do business with.
There's a lot of shade.
She has blonde hair. He's gonna know.
The problem with Lawrence is if you're from Lawrence, you know who the scammers are. You stay away from them.
Exactly.
If you're not from Lawrence and you open a business in Lawrence, they descend upon you like locusts.
Yeah.
And you have no idea because they have
Everybody's
a good
gonna
name.
go.
Their name's on a billboard. And
They're always up and about. They're always at every event.
Right, and so you think that they're on the up and up, but they're not. So just a little. But anyways, the food was amazing.
I went yesterday with the boys.
I saw without me.
Sorry, I went to do my hair, and I was like, oh, let me go try
see
Michael's
how she is?
cheese. No, I wanted to have.
I go somewhere I invite her. She
martini.
doesn't show up. She goes somewhere she doesn't even invite me.
No, I know.
See how she is?
Not AJ. Alejandro was like, "Where's Tom?" He's so used to all of us going out to eat together.
Right.
That's why.
All right, so I actually had two other topics to get to before we get to our guest. So instead of having a long discussion about it, I was going to talk about it briefly, and then when I get to our guest.
I wanna hear what he has to say about it though.
Okay, well, I'm sure he doesn't want to talk about it at all, but
Well,
let's see if we can rope him in.
He's a politician. He'll know how to do it. He'll know how to talk about it.
So a couple things. So we get to the Michaels thing.
He's so red, Tom.
It's awesome. But you know what's great about him?
Yeah.
You're going to get a genuine he's not his brother who calculates every syllable and does everything to kind of like mislead and misdirect and distract and deflect. And this guy, you just ask him a question. He's just genuine. It's a genuine response when he says something.
They're different people, but I like them both.
Although I think
great
somebody
guys.
got to him on my vote at the last meeting, but we'll talk about that later. All right, so the state of Massachusetts, the state representatives, the House of Representatives in Massachusetts yesterday passed the most disgraceful and disgusting bill in the country to make abortion on demand up until birth. They said 6 months. I actually read through and by the way, I posted on my page the WBUR story. WBUR, that's PBS. That's publicly funded left-wing lunacy. And even according to them, let me see,
I don't think they're getting that much money anymore because Tom took that. I mean, not Tom. Trump took that away. Sorry.
You were pretty close the first time.
Yeah. Same thing, right?
And so of course this has to keep refreshing. So now I don't have it in front of me when I spent so much time getting it in front of me. What do you got? All right. Well, I was looking for the quote though from. So they passed a bill. They passed a bill making it legal for late-term abortions in Massachusetts for the health of the mother. Now, there are people that run around saying it's for the life of the mother. Let me school some of you who do not study these things and do not look at these things. There has never been a reason to have an abortion to save the mother's life. There is no medical condition.
Preeclampsia or something like that?
That would. So, well, let me ask you. So, say someone's got preeclampsia. Why do you have to kill the baby before it's born? Why can't you do a cesarean? Why can't you pull it out?
I don't think you can do C's. Hold on, let me put you on.
Is that when you can? So Nicole was telling me this, where if mothers can bleed or something like that,
they can bleed to
is that
to death or something?
Yeah, the mother. Can
but if you
bleed
have
to
the
death.
abortion, you still have to pull the baby out. So what condition can a woman have where you have to pull the baby out dead? And if you're pulling it out anyway, pull it out alive. That's just common sense.
I heard that's what Nicole. Nicole, it's a medical. She told me that there is certain things where mother can bleed out if she was going through pregnancy.
Yeah.
Where an abortion it limits that chance, and they find out down the road. That's when
it's a
it
very
comes.
small.
It's
amount.
a small percentage.
But I know what
it
he
is-
means about the way that it's
Yeah.
written about the health.
So now
part.
it's the health of the mother, which means any doctor can say, well, she could have anxiety. She can have a bad day if she doesn't have the abortion.
Yeah.
And I know 10 doctors off the top of my head who are pro-abortion who would give that exemption to any woman that walked in, even if they had never seen her before and never never even examined her. So
The question is like, who in this world performs an abortion at 38 weeks, 37 weeks? Why? Who does that?
Well, it's 24.
And what is wrong with
26.
No, some states, Colorado is
Yeah.
still term. But why? Why would you do I don't get it. I can't believe this is a thing.
do you know how much money Planned Parenthood makes on the baby body parts?
Oh my
Selling the body parts to science, to these universities that do, what do they call it?
research.
Yeah, the research, but what do they call that? The one that Superman
But
had.
no,
When I'm not on the air, I remember all this shit, and then I go on the air and I can't remember the name. So here's a quote from her name is Myrna Melanie Flynn. She is from Mass Citizens for Life. She says, as written, this abortion up to birth bill in Massachusetts permits one physician to subjectively decide that any unborn infant can be killed in or outside of the hospital, even babies capable of surviving outside the womb and feeling pain within it. Okay? So, how did our Massachusetts representatives vote on this bill? Very sad to say that the only representative, I can't hear anything, that the only representative in the Merrimack Valley who voted against this bill, and I was very happy to see it because I was really convinced he was going to do what his colleagues in Lawrence did, was Francisco Paulino.
Really?
So here's a guy that I interviewed 4 years ago when he ran against Marcos. I went to his office 2 days before the election. I had already interviewed Marcos, and I walked in, and he looked at me very skeptically because he knew that Marcos was my friend, and I was campaigning for Marcos. And he thought I was one of these media people that wants to put my finger on the scale. He thought it was going to be a gotcha interview, so he was ready for me. So toward the end of the interview, I'd asked all just very basic questions, the same thing I asked Marcos, and I said, tell me something you disagree with your party on because I'm sick and tired of people getting in and just doing whatever their party want. And he said, abortion. And I said, oh, yeah, you're telling me if you win and you get in, you're going to vote against your party on abortion? And he said, I believe abortion is murder, and I'm not voting for any bill that's going to allow especially late-term abortions. And I said, listen, you're on video. If you go back on this, I will give that video to whoever runs against you, and I will run it on my show. I will run it on Facebook. I'll put it on Twitter, LinkedIn, Threads. I will do everything humanly possible. And not because I'm pro-life, but because you're saying you're pro-life. So if you get it and you change, you're in trouble with me. And yesterday I got the list. Frank Moran voted yes.
Of course.
Stella Reyes voted.
Disappointed.
Stella Reyes voted yes.
You want babies in your community to be murdered?
Adrian Ramos, who said on my debate that she was for abortion up till birth, voted yes, so that was no surprise. Tram Wen, who told me when we met she was for abortion on demand up till birth, voted yes, so that's no big surprise. And Francisco Paulino, true to form, kept his friggin' word.
Shout out.
Listen, and I have a lot of problems with Francisco. We are clashing on a lot of things lately. But I'll tell you what, it takes a lot of balls to go to Beacon Hill with all those people, with all that money that they're throwing, all these pro-abortion groups.
Slush funds.
They're bribing all these reps to vote the way they want them to vote. And he also knows that by voting no on this bill, he's going to lose a committee seat. They're going to take it out on him.
Yeah.
They're going to make an example of him. And he voted no anyway. And you want to know something? That's the kind of guy you want in your legislature. Because let's face it, to the other reps that represent Lawrence, 80% of your voters are pro-life.
Oh, yeah.
And you voted against your voters.
Stella voted too? Yes? Stella? A woman?
And 80% of the voters in Lawrence and Methuen, mostly Lawrence.
Is she pro-life or pro-choice?
Said she was pro-life.
Really?
Yeah.
And she still voted?
So
Interesting. Shame.
They all represent the Merrimack Valley. The majority of the voters in their districts are pro-life, and with the exception of Francisco, they voted against their voters. They voted for their committee assignments. They voted for their raises. They voted for their political favors. They voted for the money that the pro-abortion groups are going to throw at them in election time. And shame on all of them. I don't want to single anyone out. Shame on all of them.
You're not going to find a lot of Dominicans who believe in abortion.
Well, if I was a candidate running against any of those people, I would be running ads on this. This is an issue that I would use. Yeah. And Ryan Hamilton pulled what Ryan Hamilton. I love the kid so much. I hate to pick on him. I really do, because he's the nicest kid in the world. He really is. But he pulled what he pulled when he was on the Methuen City Council. He just didn't show up. Like a tough vote comes up, and he wasn't there. Now maybe he had a legitimate reason. Maybe his car broke down. Maybe he was sick. I don't know. But he didn't vote. And I'm firmly convinced that if he didn't have an opponent, he would have voted the way he voted against Diana and the way he voted for the $5 billion for the illegal aliens. But I haven't talked to him yet, so I'm going to ask him when I see him.
So the list goes, Stella voted yes for the abortion.
Yep.
Frank Moran voted yes.
Yep.
Who else is it?
Ryan took a walk. Francisco voted no. Adrian Ramos voted yes. Tram Wen voted yes. The two idiots that represent Haverhill both voted yes. Okay. Andy Vargas and I can't remember who the other one was.
What are they?
Idiots. They're just dumb. Andy Vargas is just so dumb. He's just so dumb. Like, he's not a bad guy. You meet him and he's a nice guy. I've had drinks with him a couple times at events. But like, I went over to him one day and I'm like, listen, you're on Facebook telling people ICE is in Haverhill today. You're tipping off the criminals. You're so anti-police. Yet your police department was the first one in Massachusetts to go dark and encrypt their police scanner. And you're the one running around saying the cops are gunning down black men for fun. And then you have nothing to say about your police department going dark and going encrypted. So you're telling us cops are gunning down black men for fun, that they're abusing people in the community, and then you allow them to go dark so we can't oversee what they're doing?
What are these people?
I said, why don't you you're Andy Vargas. Why don't you, as a Democrat, go to the legislature and submit a bill to make it a state law that you cannot encrypt a police scanner unless it's like an undercover operation? And he's like, well, it's officer safety. Like, officer safety is like the excuse to do whatever they want.
And then ICE officers.
Right. Well, yeah. Now he wants the ICE officers to take their mask off so the cartels can kill their family.
Yeah.
But the behavioral police can encrypt their scanner so they can gun down black men for fun.
You know what I think about people like
These
that?
people
They're
are just so dumb. They're just so dumb.
They're floating. Put your feet on the freaking ground. It's free.
Yeah, take a stand.
Jesus.
Just take a stand.
We gotta change these people out. We have to. We have to do something about it.
I don't disagree.
Where's the freaking audit?
Where's our audit? Where's our audit? Where the hell is our audit?
Yeah.
Right?
Where is it?
All right. What else did we have? Ellie wanted to spend a little bit more time on that.
Ryan's facial expressions right now.
Poor Ryan. Donald Trump announced today through his press secretary that for communities that are financially being strapped by these data centers that are going in, the federal government is going to now pay for the data centers, which is what we knew they were going to do all on. That was the plan. Donald Trump is completely out of his friggin' mind on this. I love Donald Trump. I supported Donald Trump, but I can't support that. I can't support flock cameras. I can't support the data centers. It's ridiculous. They are creating an Orwellian grid so that the government can always know where you are, what time you were there, when you were there, and store that data. So 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from them, they can go back and they can find something that you did wrong. Imagine it's 2030. And you get a thing in the mail, and it says your license has been revoked because we went through the flock camera data centers and found that on 6 different occasions over the last year, you either went through a yellow light that turned red, or you didn't stop long enough at a stop sign, or you went above the speed limit. You went 1 mile over the speed limit. And because now we've got 6 tickets to give you, because it's 6, now your license is revoked. And they went back 5 years to do it. If you don't think that's on the horizon, then you're crazy. You're not paying attention to what's going on.
It's like we're guilty of doing something we haven't done or we're thinking of doing. Yep. They're watching
everyone. A free society does not have a government that tracks them and stores all their data. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. And Donald Trump, I know why he was convinced to do this. He's just wrong. They're worried China's going to have all the AI advantages over the United States.
They want to build the data centers in China instead. That's what they were thinking. Well, so he's probably thinking, let me get ahead of it and have them done here.
Right. Or how about we just don't have them at all? How about that? How about we don't have AI running our entire lives? Because at some point, I don't know if anybody ever saw the movie or the TV show Logan's Run. It ran in the late 70s, early 80s.
No.
And basically, the whole world was run by a computer. And when you turned 29, you were killed because only young people could run the world because they were like drones. They did the work that the computer told them had to be done to keep the computer running.
There's people that use AI to decide what they're going to eat.
That's insane.
There's people that use AI for everything. Yeah. I know some people that do that for everything. Yeah. What shoe should I wear? What color should I wear today? Should I wear this shirt or that shirt? It's crazy. It's taking over.
Yep. All right, in the studio with me today, boy, I'll tell you.
Like when you say to my left, to your right.
Right, to my left, to your right is Ryan Dizoglio, the most honest guest we've ever had on the show. He's the only politician in the. Well, he started the show in 2016, 27. So in the 9 years we've been doing a podcast, in the 35 years I did radio before that, he is the only politician who's ever come on the show that I asked a question to, and his answer was, I don't know. Like, he's the only one ever who said, I don't know.
He's a bench maker.
Every other politician says, well, some people feel this way, and some people feel that way, and I kind of lean this way, but sometimes that way, and they'll never give you a fucking answer. This guy, I call him a kid because I'm old, this guy actually looked at me during, 3 or 4 years ago when we were up in Salem, and I didn't remember the question, and I asked him something, and he went, I don't really know anything about that. I don't know.
You were talking about Black Lives Matter and racism, and I go, I'm a white guy. I don't know about racism.
And I was like, I hated that answer, but I loved that he gave it because how many politicians will just filibuster their way through and that's really the problem with politicians. That's why I like Ryan. He has the same he has the same demeanor at a city council or a school committee meeting. Things will come up, and he will start talking about something, and then he'll go, yeah, but you know what? I don't think I really know that much about this. And then he'll sit back and he'll listen. And that's public service. Like, if you ask me, even when we disagree on shit, I at least feel as though there's a guy that's really trying to be intellectually curious, who really wants to get to the bottom of things, and doesn't want to take a like. There was the meeting about the grade allowance tack, right? I saw Ella McLaren, who I've been giving a free pass to because it's her first year, but I saw Ella McLaren jump on a bandwagon about the Vokes funding because someone else did it. And she doesn't know shit about the Vogue. She doesn't know shit about the Vogue budget. She doesn't know anything about the way they staff their teachers, the grants that go there. She doesn't know anything about that, right? But she still had to jump in. She still had to jump on the bandwagon and sound important. And when it comes to stuff like that, we become too used to politicians doing that, and Ryan doesn't do that. So I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I'm not really one to kiss people's ass on this show,
Yeah,
for sure. But, and we're
lucky.
going to fight on some things for sure.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
see, we were trying to explain to that little girl, we're not going to say her name, but that little girl on Facebook that was giving me crap this week, and giving you crap this week, that's what grown-ups do. Grown-ups are able to sit in a room, disagree on things, and still be friends, and still be friendly, and still be civil to each other. And Ryan and I disagree on a lot of things, but we disagree in a grown-up, mature, respectful way. Sometimes not so respectful. Sometimes you call me an asshole. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes I am being an asshole. But because you're my friend, when you call me an asshole, I sit and think and I go, well, maybe he's right. Maybe I am being an asshole. Maybe I jump to a conclusion. Maybe I should dial it back a little bit. And then I rethink because he's not saying it to be mean. He's saying it because he really thinks it's true. So you're on the city council. This is your first year on the city council. I have to say, miles ahead of where your brother was on his first year on the city council. I'm really glad to see that you didn't, after you termed out on the school committee, that you decided that you were going to stay involved.
Yeah, no, it was great. I was thinking about it when I got off of school committee. Do I want to continue doing it? And because I ran, if you remember, about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I ran for city council twice and I lost.
In the East End, right?
East End, and then I ran for at-large.
Now, isn't that the year that Adam Chaka also ran? Was that one of the years that you ran?
Yes.
And then Sid Harris, who got beaten worse than Rodney King, like he just got slaughtered everywhere.
That was when I ran for at-large.
Okay.
So
right.
I ran against Tom Schuler and Ron Morrison.
Tom Schuler. Anybody hear from him lately?
I don't know.
I wonder how he's doing.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from him. In a
And then there was another guy, Chris somebody, and I'm sorry if I forget his name, but we ran, and I remember that story was I didn't have a car in that election, and I walked the entire East District.
So you got beat by Ron Morrison and Eunice, right?
No, Tom Schuler.
Oh, and Tom Schuler. Okay,
Yeah, and I lost by like 175 votes to Ron Morrison for second place.
Wow.
And then I ran for at-large, and I think I ran against, I know, Ryan Hamilton, Jen Canan, I think it was Jessica Finicaro that year. And then
we miss Jessica. We miss Jen Canan too.
I love Jen. You know I can never talk bad about Jen Canan. And Steve Gillis was in that one.
Right.
And I lost I think by 200.
Steve Gillis is like Don Romano back in the old Lawrence days where he just runs every time.
Yeah,
Eventually he is gonna win.
Yeah, at least he tries.
Right.
You know what I mean? He tries to put himself out there, and I can never take that away from people.
I ran 3 times before I won.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When I ran twice, I was like, I think I'm going to be done. But then my brother decided to leave school committee to run for city council. So I said, you know what? Let me run for school committee. One, did 6 years, did a fantastic job, I think. People told me I did good.
I thought you did a decent job.
Okay.
I would have preferred that you hold the administration a little bit more accountable and not believe everything. I think one of the things that most politicians do when they first get elected is they're conditioned to believe the experts, and then they're conditioned to believe that the people who are part of the administration are the experts, and neither one of those two things are true.
Well, if you saw the last 2 years with the mice infestation,
right.
I stopped believing the
Right,
administration.
because
and
the experts were telling you one thing and you saw something totally different.
And I actually started researching and doing more. But that's the thing.
Look how cute she is when she's doing it.
Why you gotta put her on the spot all the time?
Because she's adorable. She's like my daughter.
And then you wreck my focus.
I'm sorry. I forget your ADHD.
Yeah, my God. And then when I ran, when at the end of it, I honestly was thinking about it, saying, do I really want to try and put myself up for possibly another letdown? But I said, you know what? I think the people of Methuen will elect me because I think I've earned it at that point, and we had a good turnout.
Well, it helps to have a name like Dizoglio.
Well,
you gotta admit
it
that.
didn't, but it didn't help when the first two times.
Right.
I look at it. I think the name can only go so far.
Right. No, I agree with that.
I think.
agree with that.
I think the way I
would have been happier if Nick had lost and you had won.
I think in 2025, 2026, it is. That name is a victory.
Yeah, now it is because
maybe in the beginning.
for a lot of
not so
reasons,
much.
Diana has climbed higher.
Yeah, but
You
I
still got your uncle. Is it your uncle Dennis?
he's my cousin. So
Your
the
cousin.
so the way like the family.
It's amazing
dynamic-
how great he was when he was in office and how absolutely what abysmal how abysmal he is now. It's,
Well, I don't. I think he still cares about Methuen. He listens to the people like he was his man. I will never denounce Dennis. He cares about his community just like all of us do, and that's one.
he's going to learn the difference between a book ban and age-appropriate material for children.
I understand people's opinion of that, but
Right.
he looks at
Just
it.
saying.
But he looks at it as all books should. Well, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't speak on Dennis, but the way that day at the school committee, he cares that all books should be open to everybody.
Right. So if I want to bring in Playboy and I want to give it to a third grade class and let them pass it around, that should be
I
okay.
think that's
because
not
it's a
what
book.
the
Right?
intention.
But that is the intention because the discussion on the table was age inappropriate material.
But I also said to people that night that there should have been an opt out. I said that they should have
Right.
been an opt out.
Well, there was an opt out, and getting back to both of our points here
Yeah.
about not believing the experts, we were told for years by Brandy Kwong's administration that there was an opt out policy. So if they were going to read some sexual material in front of kids, that parents could opt out. And then Brandy mistakenly said the quiet part out loud during that meeting when she said, "Oh, but it's only if it's the totality of the material." So if it's a novel about a wild teen adventure going through the woods, and there's 2 chapters about gay anal sex and gangbangs, that's okay. We don't have to notify. It's only if it's an entire novel about anal sex, then we have to tell the parents.
But also,
And that goes to the loopholes that the experts use to make you think that they're the experts.
But then that's when I said they should have been an opt out. If this kid felt uncomfortable, they
Right.
should have been no question.
Right.
And I said that at that school.
and her
committee
answer was there is an opt out, but it's only if it's the
Yeah,
totality of the material.
but then at the
By
same
the way, did you guys ever change the language on that?
I
after
think
she said that.
I think what happened was
question.
eventually this year they were talking about an opt out, and I said, wait a minute, we were talking about an opt out, but I don't want to speak on behalf of the school committee. I'm pretty sure that conversation was brought up.
You know who would actually know the answer to that? Kristen Maxwell would know. The
Yeah,
answer to that.
or my brother
She's
will
still
tell
getting
me.
paid.
Who?
Brandy.
Yes, because
Oh,
she's
okay.
technically on medical. No,
Well,
actually,
no, as
she's
of
done.
July 1st, she's
July
done.
1st, she's
Right.
done. So
By
she
the way,
was-
did you guys ever see a letter from a doctor saying she actually was out on medical, that she had an actual medical condition?
but if you remember,
because I'm told that there was never a letter that was sent.
Really?
but again,
She
Jenny,
approved her own medical leave.
Well, she
But
just said it was a medical leave because she's the superintendent. So she told herself that I'm going out on medical leave. Then she believed herself, and then she went out.
you're gonna have to ask the school committee.
Well, you were on the school committee when it happened.
No, I was transferring
Oh,
over.
you were already out.
I was
Were you already out?
Yeah,
January. Yeah.
yeah.
And we'll
January.
never get the straight answer out of Nick. So
December, she pulled the leave, and I was done with my office.
Mm.
That's when she pulled that medical leave. I'm pretty sure.
Nicole D'Angelo says, "Look how great he is. Hearts, hearts."
Aw,
Aw,
she's hot.
she likes you.
Yes.
I think she likes you a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
Ryan and Nicole.
So now that you're on the
True.
city council, how is it different? How is they're both city boards, they're both elected positions. Both times you get elected at large, which is great. How is it different though being on the city council? Like how is it?
It's more fast paced.
What's the adjust? It's faster paced.
It's fast paced.
Okay.
It's more hands on. More like as a school committee, it was like policy was more like we worked with the superintendent, and then policy you could pass policy, but it's kind of like hit or miss type of thing.
Mhm.
Where now I feel like I've done the research. I'm working with the city. More communication with people that work at City Hall and passing ordinances. But I also think it's because of the council itself. I think working with people like that care about Methuen, that want to work together. I think I'm working with a great team of counselors. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've noticed you focus a lot on beautifying Methuen, if you want to
Yeah.
say. I saw you did like what is it, the sanctuary?
Yeah, the
Can you
bird
tell me a little
sanctuary.
bit about that?
Yeah, no. So Methuen has. I've been here for 27 years. I didn't even know we had a bird sanctuary.
Really?
Yeah, it was part of the Nevins estate.
Mm-hmm.
And when so they tore down the Nevins, like one of the Nevins mansions or the Nevins to build the Quinn building.
Mm.
And in the back, part of the transfer or whatever was to keep the bird sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
And it was overgrown. One of the guys that was clearing the path the other day said this path was overgrown for 15 years. And I guess it had a kiosk that people would go to. Lowell Street supposedly had a kayak rental place that you could go and use the Spigot River. And I was like, what happened? So I was walking the rail trail one day, and I said, what does this path go to?
Okay.
And I went off to it, and I went in. It was all overgrown.
You were trespassing?
Yeah, pretty much. I was like,
all right.
but supposedly it is for public use.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there and I found a path that led to the pond.
Okay.
And I said, what is this place? They're like, oh, that's the bird sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been working on this for 4 months to say, let's open it up to the public and make it like a Winnie. Is that what it is in Haverhill?
The Winnie Kinney Castle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Make that path, because on the other side there's another
yeah, but
path.
Isn't that gonna like mess up the habitat though for the birds at all?
But no, not really. If it's already so, that path used to be Nevin's carriage path
Okay.
to another estate,
Okay.
and so that's an existing path. One of the issues that we're dealing with is conservation. But I've been looking up. I can't believe I've been working up research of conservation now. But I've been working.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Yeah, wetland plants that
Okay.
we could put in that actually provide food for birds. And the things about Massachusetts is they provide you tons of grants for biodiversity because they care about environments and stuff like that. So one of the things that I looked up, and people laugh at me, but it could give us like $25,000 to beautify areas, is set up bat boxes because it cuts down on mosquitoes.
Okay.
And bats can live in them, and you got to keep them near water. So not near residential area. So that area, the bird sanctuary that is water, you could put bats up there, and that will help.
And that's not going to mess up like the birds. Like I've seen like turkey vultures there. I've seen even great
Yeah,
bald eagles.
I never seen bats interfere with other
with
birds.
No.
Also, there's other plants you could put in there that will help provide food for hummingbirds, cardinals, blue jays, which if it's a bird sanctuary, you want to draw birds to the sanctuary.
Yeah.
So,
Ravens.
and it's tons of invasive species that have taken over the area.
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to do, and I've gotten about 15 to 20 volunteers already to go down there and clean it out. But the problem is conservation is kind of stopping me, saying, well, it's a wetlands. It's 150 feet from the wetlands. And we're just going through a lot of process, the bureaucracy.
All right, this is all boring to me. It's not
I'm
controversial.
so interested.
It's
I was
not
just gonna
controversial enough.
volunteer.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so one of the things,
Stop.
but the main idea of that, what started, is to light up the rail trail.
Got it.
And because rail trail provides a lot of grants from the state, you could do rail trail, has a bunch of grants, lighting, blue lighting.
I say go for it. I mean, put it on the council.
But
You're there.
the thing about people, that is an asset, and we're trying to build the downtown. And if they can walk along the rail trail at nighttime, that might drive businesses to want to invest in Methuen. To say, hey, they're putting time and effort into their city. We should put time and effort in our city. So that's what I'm trying to strive for as a councilor in my first year.
Good for you. I like that.
Kristen Maxwell says the policy has not changed.
Okay.
Nothing
So after
really
all
changed.
that, you have 6 members of a school committee sitting there when that meeting happened, and the superintendent said out loud that the policy for parents to opt out is only if it's the totality of the material, and all those school board members heard that, and they never changed the policy.
And
So that policy is still in effect. That policy is still in effect. So today, if a perverted Methuen teacher wants to read about anal sex to a kid that's 13 years old in front of the entire class, and well, listen, you're all nervous and you're all uncomfortable. Imagine how a 13-year-old girl, how uncomfortable she is, sitting in a classroom with boys sitting next to her,
And
with a
they're talking
teacher
about
reading
that.
about gangbangs and anal sex. Like, come on.
She also said, no, we never saw a medical note.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, there you go. So if a guy like me, I know there's a lot of people who hate me for doing it, but if a guy like me isn't out here asking these questions, who else is asking them?
Yeah.
Is the Tribune asking these questions? Is Methuen Life asking these questions? How about Methuen Loop Weekly? Oh, yeah, they don't exist anymore. like is Rumbo asking these? Nobody's asking these questions. And because I'm asking these questions, sometimes we actually get a little bit of change happens. But my job isn't to affect change. That's what my detractors like that little girl don't understand. My job is to ask the questions, stir the debate, let you guys do the change.
And also, no, the fact that that's still brought up, parents should be speaking out and saying, hey, change the policy.
Annie Kivlahan should be at every single school committee meeting from now until they change that meeting, reminding the public about what happened to her daughter and that they've still not changed that policy. In fact, next year's going to be an election year. If it hasn't changed by next year, we're going to have to hold all these school committee members' feet. Now, we know Lori Keegan, if she's not termed out, she's going to be against it because she wants to pervert every kid in the school system. And we know Mary Beth Dunham's going to go along with it because she feels the same exact way. And we know Martha Sorois McCarthy, how many other names she has, is going to go along because she's a go-along, get-along administration person. But anybody else who runs is going to need to answer that question, including your brother, who will bob and weave and dance and deflect.
I think there's always a way of compromising, and I feel like if you talk to those people, and because I worked with them, they are willing to compromise. The problem that we had when I was on school committee, and I'll say this, was that it was always divided. I think it was a very conflicted school committee.
Yeah, because you had some people who were hell-bent on perverting kids and other people hell-bent on not perverting kids.
But I don't even think I feel like there was a lot of, and again, I'm not going to speak on behalf of everybody because that's not my place to say.
Yeah, but you don't have to say that on every
No,
sentence. We get that you speak for you.
But I felt that there was people, no matter what the administration said, they agreed with the administration.
Right.
And that's that.
And I'll be
that
happy
is,
to, and I'll be
and
happy
I
to
made
name
that
them. I
open
just
to
did.
members. I made that very clear. And you saw who was on my side on things, especially with that Peston. Like, there were people that should have been fired. They should have been people held accountable, and they weren't.
What
And
bothered me is that Peston got blamed.
Yep. And I will tell you this.
And they are wonderful people who do great work.
Can I say, on live feed right now, Peston did not cause those problems.
Right.
It was the administration.
And they should sue the city for the way they would.
And I'll explain why.
Defamed.
Can I
Go right
explain?
ahead.
So in each school, Peston provided a logbook. Okay. And when you have 200 rooms inside those classrooms, they were supposed to let the janitors know, hey, rodents were seen in 412.
Yeah.
Okay. They were right in the book. And then when Pestons came in, they would see the book and say, oh, there's rodents in 412 or 411. We're going to go in that room and and fix it.
Yeah.
The day I went in there, when I saw rodent crap all over the lunchroom, I said, where's your logbook? I went and saw and it wasn't that day. There was no logs in that book from 2020. So it was 5 years since the last time they logged in that book. And I said, that's ridiculous. And then they wanted to change it to make it like a school administration, like a Google Doc. And I go, no, why are you guys changing the process when Peston had their own process? You guys should be following Peston's policies. And they didn't. And also they didn't change. There was like a rodent thing that they have to, I forget the name of it, and someone will bring it up. So you have to submit a plan to the state for rodent like maintenance every year. Methuen didn't change their rodent policy for years. So when Adam would say like, hey, you need to update it for outside traps and stuff, they never did it. So, and I know that for a fact. Anybody that wants to try, I have emails, I have logs, I have all this documentation to prove it. And they know that I know it. So that heats me still to this day because they threw Peston under the bus. And I'll say that openly. They did. And it's wrong. And that was the principle. And I'll say this. When principals run buildings, they are responsible for those buildings. So when things like that are happening and people go, we said to people, no, there's no record of that. So you're responsible.
Right.
That's my take of it. I feel that way to this day. You could tell that I'm very passionate about it because I know it's the truth.
Ryan is what I call a 40-minute hello. The
Yes.
phone will ring. I'll say hello, and then I won't say another word for another 40 minutes.
Sorry.
But I'm the same way, so I learn a lot because sometimes, like I was out with someone last night at Salvatore's. We sat there for 2 hours, and as we were leaving, I realized she didn't say 2 words the whole night. I went, holy crap, how am I supposed to learn about her and like what she's doing at work and stuff if I never shut the hell up? So I like having a guy like you around because it forces me to listen.
Yeah.
The big controversy in Methuen, I think really the only big controversy right now in Methuen, other than the stuff that's getting swept under the rug that we'll talk about in another show, because I don't want to ambush you. I don't believe in ambushing people. I don't believe in ambush journalism. But the one thing that is talked about publicly that is still very contentious is the Searls building. Can you explain to the people at home who didn't follow it, who don't know anything about it, in very simple, dumb it down terms for the person who doesn't even understand what happened, how we got where we are with the Searls building, and exactly where are we with the Searls
And then I have a
building?
question after.
Okay.
So I wasn't on the council when the Searls Estate, supposedly it was bought. The person.
So what is the Searls Estate?
Oh, the Searls
Like
Estate.
dumb it down so for the people.
Okay, so the Searls Estate is another family that lived in Methuen that has a mansion. They own the Searls Estate. They.
So it's that big mansion that you see
Yeah.
off Pleasant Valley
it's-
Street. Is it Pleasant
No.
Valley
No, it
Street?
burned down, no?
No, that's Great Court.
Oh, that's Great Court.
That's
okay.
Great Court. That was
So when they were forming Methuen, there was a big castle that was built.
Yeah, there was like 3 families.
three,
Nevin, Searls, and Tenney.
And they were
Okay.
all farmers, right? If
Like
I'm
farm.
mistaken.
Well, no, because they became factory worker. Like they built factories.
Okay.
They owned they invested in Methuen.
Okay.
And families bought the organ hall, built the organ hall, the factory for the organ hall. There's so much history of Methuen with the Searls Estate, and they have their mansion.
Okay.
And it was left basically for years, sitting there. And then it was PMA. The nuns owned it for PMA.
Okay.
And again, I'm just giving like a brief history.
Well, yeah, because I think a lot of times people want to know what's going on, but they come in and they don't know how we got where we are.
Yeah.
And
so
why
everything
did it
goes
get
over their
abandoned?
head.
Why was it abandoned anyway?
It was just sitting there, and then PMA, the nuns had to get rid of it.
Because they left. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not there anymore.
PMA sold out, closed down,
Mhm.
and then Notre Dame, but the nuns were staying in the back.
Okay.
And then they were getting desperate to sell it. And then, from my knowledge, Neil Perry stepped in and bought it because a developer was coming in
Bought it on behalf of the city.
on behalf of the city.
Mm.
Okay,
Wait, the nuns
to-
or the archdiocese?
the archdiocese.
Okay.
Okay,
So the city of Methuen purchased the Searls Estate, which
From
is
the
the mansion,
Catholics.
yeah,
right?
the Catholics.
Yeah,
Yes.
Those,
Yeah.
nasty, those nasty
Hey, I'm
Catholics.
Catholic. But, we're
For
Catholic.
the way you labeled it, it's
But it's the truth.
yes,
Just
but
so
the
people can
archdiocese
understand.
or
So
the
people can
nuns.
understand.
Yes.
So how much did the city pay for it?
If I'm correct,
Was it market value?
3.5, I think it was. I don't want to speak on that. It was like
All right.
3.5.
But was it
to
market
3.5.
value? Was it like did the city pay
No,
less than what it was worth?
I
to
think
make
it
a
was less
profit,
than
or
what it's worth.
And
less.
why?
Okay.
But
Why reserve it? Why
but again-
keep it?
why? Because it's history. It's a beautiful building.
Never been.
You should. It's a beautiful building. And if
But it
you
looks like it's not doing anything now.
but the thing
Right.
about it is it can. I believe in that. I do. I am one of those people like, and if you get Nicole involved in this, she's walked around that place and she goes, you could do weddings there. You could do.
But will they? That's the thing.
But that's the
we
thing.
always say that's going to happen
Yeah.
when a municipality gets involved in something,
I-
and then they never do it, and then
Well,
it just sits there,
Yeah.
and you pay for the upkeep, and you pay for the water and the sewer and the.
I get that. But
And by the way, I have no skin in the game. I don't
No.
have an opinion at all on it.
no.
But I want to educate people because I've had people say to me, "Hey, what's going on with that Searls building? I don't understand it."
Yeah, no. And people, I think that was where I'm still understanding it. and when I get more involved and when.
So the city bought it, and now the city owns it.
Yes.
And the city is considering what? Selling it, turning it into a function hall.
I-
What
They were
is the city
selling
doing
it.
now?
I think.
They're selling it.
No,
Well, they're selling it.
no.
That's what I thought. People were
Well,
putting in
no, they had an
offers.
RFP to be put out to someone to
Yeah.
buy it. And
You know, the Tribune ran some bogus story about somebody from New York that was gonna buy it, but
Yeah.
they didn't like a headline that they saw, and
Well,
yeah,
you
there's
guys
all
want
this
to put
story.
terms as in the way that you guys want to sell it. Like they have to
Yeah,
reserve it, or they can live there. or
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
that's an RFP, and
Okay.
but then there hasn't been since we're trying to figure it out. The city still owns it, and that's pretty much like what I got involved,
Okay.
and I'm learning as I go. But I've been doing my own thing, and when that falls on my desk, I will read up on it, do more research, do more that I have to do. But that is a big deal. But I feel like Methuen, this is an opportunity, like do a functions, do this, and everybody's worried about ADA compliance, which is a big deal. And I'm not going to say no, you can't have everybody go there, but I said there's certain things they could do there. Function hall, maybe have like
No apartments, please.
no. I'm against apartments. I don't want apartments. I don't need. We need commercial development in Methuen. We don't. Every
the
resident.
absolute last thing that Methuen needs is more low-income housing, or more crammed-in housing.
or houses in general.
Yeah.
Like I'm
well,
sorry.
what you need is single-family homes, right?
But
But what you don't need is like those big apartment buildings that have 50 units in it, 25 units
Yeah.
in it.
I-
That's just such a strain on the budget, the
I say-
infrastructure,
I
police,
say
fire.
put offices in there. I mean,
Yeah, that's what you say. Commercial is great.
Yeah.
but
You need more commercial, but the problem is you're right over the border from Salem, New Hampshire. So
Yeah,
how do you make it?
But I feel like you could do more with that estate. Like I actually came up with an idea and I sent it to the mayor that for Halloween they should do a haunted hayride. Okay, along Gray Court and on the rail trail, and make like a night at the haunted mansion, and just have some like ghouls go like. And
Yeah,
again,
there's a lot of things you guys could do with it. I
Yeah.
just want the public to understand where we are now. How much is it costing right now,
To
the
keep
city of
it.
Methuen, to
Well, I
maintain
haven't-
and
Yeah.
upkeep the sewer, the water, the repairs that need to be done, leaky
Rodents.
roofs,
so I don't.
whatever.
I don't want to say the numbers right now until I get an updated.
Well, give us a
financial-
ballpark. We're not going to hold you to it.
I don't know.
Like, so people at home have an idea.
Well, how
Is
big
it a
How
million a
many,
year? Is
how
it-
many
is it-
square feet and how many acres is it?
Oh, it's. I think it's 19 acres,
Damn.
like something like that. It's a
I
big.
don't
area.
even know if that's a lot. I have no concept of
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
that's
think
a
it's
lot.
19 acres.
Okay.
And I
There's
don't.
really 19 acres back
Yeah,
there?
it's all. It goes up and around. Because if you go in the back, heading towards like the back,
Like the school?
Tenny, I think is part of the Searls Estate too in the
Wow.
wood area. Yeah, like there's a
That's huge.
pathway from the field I think that goes up and around into the Searls Estate. So, and again, like I said, I haven't really been paying attention to the Searls Estate because we just haven't gotten an update on it yet. We do our mandatory updates of the Searls Estate in our budget, like updates.
All right, we're
from
spending
the
way too much
capital.
time on all these topics. We're
Yeah.
going to get out of it. So you also pushed this silly little thing about dirt bikes. What was this?
It's not. It's
What is
silly.
It's
this?
not silly. I think
There's,
it's
there's
good.
so many things going on in Methuen, and you
You didn't even talk about the trash yet, Whitney.
I've
been the trash
We'll go
owns
wherever
guy.
you want to go. You want to talk
Okay,
about trash? We'll talk about
So
trash.
so we'll do the bike thing. So I got a call.
But give us like the Reader's Digest version. Like,
because these bikers.
keep it down to an hour.
Okay, I'll keep it down for an hour. Okay, you're telling me 7 months worth of material now.
Right.
You know, Tom, we got to do more episodes
Well,
together.
you
I
got to
guess.
come on more.
All right. So
At least I know I'm going to get real answers when I ask you
yeah.
questions.
So the dirt bike issue is they were terrorizing the city.
Who?
These dirt bikers,
Okay.
that illegal dirt bikes.
Well, are they kids? Are they
They're
grown ups?
kids. Some of them were grown-ups.
Okay.
The one that crashed that I was following had a gun on him. All right.
Was
and
it an illegal gun?
It was an illegal gun. It had an
It was an
extended mag, and it had the mechanism that to make it fully automatic.
All right.
But we have
right. I remember seeing that story.
but we have the best gun laws in the country
Yeah,
though.
it's amazing.
All right. Oh, I want people to know I am a Second Amendment advocate.
Good for you.
Gun laws don't stop.
Gun laws
illegal
help
guns.
criminals. Gun
It
laws
only
help
helps
criminals.
criminals. That is
100%.
just a fact. and I'm saying that as a Democrat.
That little girl on Facebook's gonna be calling you.
Yeah.
At 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I'm gonna get so much. Ryan, I love you, but I can't like you anymore because you prefer guns.
Yeah, you want people to be able to defend themselves from criminals.
Yeah, so
Who don't
I'm just
follow gun
saying,
laws.
it really aggravates me. So what I put together was, well, what happens when we take these dirt bikes away? Well, there's no impounding. There was nothing. So what we did, we put together is when we catch these guys, we're gonna take there and hit them with tons of fines. So it's gonna take them like $250 for the tow. Is like another 200.
Can we dial it back? Just bring it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So are dirt bikes not legal? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's illegal in Massachusetts.
So if you have a dirt bike, you can be off road, but you can't be on the streets.
You can't be on the street.
So just for people who don't understand.
Yeah.
So you're saying if they're using the dirt bikes and they're on the streets,
It's illegal.
you can confiscate the dirt bike and then you're going to hit them with a shit ton of fines.
Yeah, Lawrence does
But
that.
if they're kids, how do you make them pay the fines?
Their parents.
You're gonna hold the parents responsible for what the kids.
Yes,
Really?
because it's their kids.
What? So my 16-year-old goes out, has a
Yep,
job, a
yep.
part-time job, buys himself a dirt bike that I
Yep.
don't even know about, keeps it at his friend's
See, are you
basement.
glad I
Well,
asked?
he-
Are you
No,
glad I asked the
no,
question?
wait.
Oh, wait.
Wait. Keeps it at his
Oh,
friend's
you're in trouble
basement.
now.
Keeps it at his friend, and I don't know anything about it. And he's out on the streets, and he gets caught, and then I have to pay a $5,000 bill.
Yep.
No,
Hell
Yep.
Wait a minute. Your son can pay for it, but if he doesn't after 90 days, we're impounding his thing.
Take it. But
Take
don't
it.
make me pay
No,
for
no,
anything.
you don't need to
he's
pay
a,
it.
He's a human being. He's a
Yep.
separate person
Here's
from
the
me.
thing: you don't need to pay for it, but we're keeping it, and that's
Okay.
how it should be.
So it says right here that they're probably spending about $150,000 a year for their estate.
Oh,
when
for the
accounting
Searls Estate?
where it
Yeah.
says
Oh,
when
for
accounting.
maintenance.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
for that too, and then for accounting for emergency public safety services, lost tax revenues, neighborhood
That sounds
property
right.
devaluation
Okay.
as well.
That's
So
okay.
100,000 a year could go
150.
to
150.
pay for 1/3 of the salary of your deputy police chief. It could go to pay maybe 2 or 3 teachers at the
You
command.
could
at the
also
bottom
beautify
level.
the bird sanctuary.
Bird sanctuary. You can
Light
buy,
it up.
you can buy a couple of cruisers.
Or you can keep a historical place in Methuen, and we can make revenue off of it.
Yeah, but we're losing revenue
Right.
because
But
nobody's paying
sometimes-
taxes
if you
on
make
it.
the revenue off it,
But you again,
by the time you get there, if it's a year, 2 years, you're already 300,000 in.
Thank you.
If they put Nicole planning that place,
She's
the-
putting a bunch of comments here
she
about
could
it.
she can make probably $1 million.
And again, I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and play both sides to
no,
see.
I totally get
People
it.
at home need to know both sides.
Yeah.
So this is what some of the idiots that attack me on Facebook don't understand. I don't care where we end up on the discussion. I just want to make sure everybody is completely informed before they make their decision.
Okay.
Don't make your decision, then look for the information that comports with the decision you made.
Yeah.
Don't take a stand and then look for the information that's going to validate your view.
Mm-hmm.
First, don't take a view. Look at all the information first, then decide what you want to decide.
Yeah.
Right, like you and I will fight, right?
Yeah.
We'll argue, we'll fight 3 hours on the phone, right?
Yep.
And then at the end of the conversation, you say to me, you know what? You brought up a lot of good points, but because of something you said, I'm now even more convinced you're wrong and I'm right. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. Because now you can defend it.
Yeah.
Because we've talked it out. We've worked it
We
out. We've
always-
hashed it out. That's what grown-ups do. Yes, intern
I
girl.
have a question too.
Well,
Talking
you
about
gotta- you have
devaluing.
to turn on your camera when you talk.
Oh, really? You
That's
want
what
me
people.
to do
Yeah,
that?
that's what people complain about.
Oh, I have to
See?
do that right now. Hold
There
on.
you go.
Let me go.
There you go. Yeah, this intern girl.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, talking about properties are abandoned right now that the city owns. The Days Inn Hotel off of 93. Is that abandoned or what's going on with that?
No, that's owned. The Day's End is owned.
And it's still operating?
Yeah.
And who gets that revenue?
It's if I'm correct,
Whoever owns it.
yeah, whoever owns it.
Oh,
I
I thought
think
the
it's
city was gonna get it.
no. There's a and again, I don't want to speak on behalf of the mayor. But there was things going around that they were going to take that and make it a public safety building.
Okay.
Like take it by eminent domain and then knock it down and build a public safety building there. That is what I heard. Again, things change. And again, I don't want to speak on behalf of the mayor and his ideas and his administration, what they are thinking about. But that's what I've heard. But we don't,
Okay.
again, We
Because
don't.
I saw somewhere that the city owned it for some reason. I don't know
No,
why. I
not
saw
the Days
an
Inn.
article.
Nope.
And they're saying that they have a bill of like $4 million that needs to be
No,
paid.
the place
No,
that
the
owns
place
it,
who owns it owes money to the
Oh.
banks.
banks, it's like 4.5 million or
Yeah.
something.
Even after all the state money that we're getting?
Yeah. Well, they don't run it as a shelter anymore.
I know, but even I'm saying like before,
Yeah,
like why didn't they pay
but
it?
let's be real. Some people took the money and ran with it. You
Right.
know, they got free money. They didn't need to pay for it because they needed to keep it
Mhm.
operational, and the state wasn't going to close it on them. And then once the COVID thing went away, then the banks were like, "Where's our money?"
Yeah.
And now it's $4.5 million. That's exactly
wow.
what happened.
All right,
That's
my
my
apologies.
thing.
I
I
really
love how
thought
they
the
were
city
putting. I love how they were
purchased.
putting illegal. The state was putting illegal aliens there, but Joe Biden was giving them temporary status so that we wouldn't call them illegal aliens.
Yeah.
So I came on this show. We were still up at Salem, New Hampshire at the time, and said that they have illegal aliens there. And Neil Perry came on my show and just dressed me down. That's a lie. It's an outright lie. And your brother, it's a lie. Your brother's a master at this. It's a lie. They're not illegal aliens. And then doesn't follow up with they were illegal aliens, but the Biden administration gave them temporary status. But they still came here illegally. So as far as I'm concerned, still illegal aliens, right?
Yeah, I just
That's a
I
tricky one.
Like
Right?
it's one of those things that I look at and I said, there is a process.
Nick's going to call me after the show. Why did
Oh,
you
he's
pick on
gonna
me so
call me
much?
later too.
Why did you pick on me so much?
But I like I said, when it comes to this,
We do it to get him back on the show.
When-
That's why we do it.
this country has a process to come to this country, and I believe America is the land of opportunity for everybody, but do it the right way.
Right.
Just do it the right way. And then if you do it you're woke. All of our ancestors came over, and then you hear all this
Come
stuff.
here legally. Come here legally. That's
Come
all we
legally.
ask.
That's it. Like that's all.
I think it's funny that the people who hate America, they call us the most racist country in the world. We're so awful.
I'll
We're
t-
built on slavery, and then they want to invite everybody else into the worst country in the world.
I'll tell you this right now. I went to Spain a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Oh, I loved it. Okay, people in Spain love America. They love how we do things.
Everybody loves America
Okay,
outside of America.
Yeah, right.
And
It's the Americans that hate America.
but and they look at our history and they say, "You progressed so much. I wish my country could do the same."
Mhm.
Like how far we've come.
People are dying to come here.
And that's
Part of the problem that Europe has is after World War II, and England was the worst offender of this, and so was Germany, is that they made these laws where you have no free speech. So if you speak out against the Jews, you can be put in jail for that. Now I'm a Jew. I think that's horrible. In this country, I think we did it the right way. Although Pavel and Jamie Eldridge are trying to change it here in Massachusetts with the Muslims, but that's another show. It's one of the things I wanted to talk about at the beginning that we never got to. But in this country, we want to know who the racist assholes are, right? If someone's going to come out and say, globalize the Intifada and free Palestine, we want to know who the Nazis are. Those are the Nazis. We want to know who they are. So give them the free speech so we know who among us is trying to destroy us.
I think it's more.
And in Germany and in Western Europe, they suppress it. And what happens when you suppress it is it goes underground, and then it festers and it grows. And now you've got like a counter-revolution going on within your own country.
I think the problem, and again, I think this is nervous for me to come on shows like this or talk very publicly, is because people take things. I don't need to agree with you. And I think that's a problem right now we're dealing with, is that we teach people that, oh my God, he doesn't agree with me, so I don't need to like him.
But those are the
Or
tyrants.
they go and they kill them.
Yeah,
Right.
but
If they don't agree with them.
But those are the tyrants in the community, the Heather Plunkett's of the world who got
I
up.
know it.
Who got up. Listen.
We
but
don't
listen,
need to name people.
why not? Why not call them
Because-
out? Why
because
not?
it-
Because you got to run for re-election, so
No,
I'll
no,
do
no,
it.
no,
I'll
no.
do it.
Let
It's
him
that-
do it.
But wait a minute. It like you could say it's Heather, but then you could go. But you could say there's a conservative that talks about how dare you talk against Trump.
I've never seen a conservative get up at a Methuen school committee meeting
You're right.
and dress down
But-
elected officials
Thank you.
because you're friends with Jimmy and I don't like Jimmy.
Yeah.
You're friends with Tom and I don't like
no,
Tom.
no.
Never.
You're right.
You
You're-
support
but-
ICE and I hate ICE.
But again, what I'm saying,
and that's my point is,
But what I'm saying is, what I see online, this is why I stay off of line, is because I see people too busy behind a screen talking, where and I'm not going to name who, I said, you should call Tom or call whoever and sit down and have a conversation. Why do you want an audience?
Right, but that's the point, though. What I'm saying is that's the point. They don't want to. They don't want to sit down.
They don't want to solve
and
the
smooth it.
problem.
They don't want to solve the problem. They want to create conflict because they're tyrants. And you have a whole segment now in our political culture where you're a bad person if you don't believe what they believe. And the reason that they feel that way is because they believe they've been emotionally manipulated to believe that they're a good person based on what they believe. And by the way, this is one of the reasons I became a Jew, and not to veer off because it is all the same topic, because you have two different schools of thought when it comes to what's good and what's bad. You have people who believe, like the Catholics and the Christians believe, that it's what you believe that gets you to heaven. If you believe in Christ, you can get to heaven. And I'm not denigrating it, I'm just saying what it is. If you believe in good things, you're a good person. If you believe in helping people, that makes you a good person. Jews, on the other hand, and the reason why I converted is Jews believe it's your deeds that make you a good person.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter if I'm Debo Brown and I'm motivated by getting clicks on Facebook and I videotape me handing a sandwich to the homeless person. I'm still a piece of shit. But you know what? I did a good deed. Do you think that homeless person cares why he gave them the sandwich? That homeless person's hungry. Give them the fucking sandwich, right? So my point is, there's always this divide in politics, in religion, in society, that people who believe that it's what you believe that makes you a good person are always the people that turn out to be tyrants because they don't want you to be friends with her because she doesn't believe what they believe, therefore that makes her a bad person. And by extension, when Heather gets up and starts yelling at you and DJ and Ken,
call them out.
Why don't you denounce what? I was waiting for one of you to go, because it's not our friggin' job to denounce every person we disagree with. And when she was done, by the way, you'll notice she insulted you, she insulted DJ, she insulted Ken, and when she was done, the people that she said were wonderful, Mary Beth,
She actually did come up and apologize.
and Laurie, who did?
Heather.
Oh, she apologized to you.
She apologized.
But why didn't she do it publicly like she
Well,
eviscerated
I don't look.
publicly?
I don't look at.
By the way, I
Why
give
is
her
Laurie
credit.
Still on the freaking
I know,
school committee.
but I
after
give Heather,
harassing somebody.
But I give Heather credit at least. She didn't hide behind a keyboard. She went and she stood there and she said, "My name is Heather Plunkett, and here's where I feel." So I respect that. 100%, I respect that. I just wish that when she was done denigrating people at a public meeting, that the people she defended would follow her lead and say, I need to denounce what she just did. She just denigrated Ken Willett, and we should denounce her for doing that because we have to hold her to her own standard, don't we? Don't we hold people to their own standard? And so this whole dynamic that we're talking about, it all comes from this undercurrent of I'm a good person because of what I believe, and therefore you're a bad person because you don't agree with me, and that puts them up on their moral high horse. Grown-ups don't behave that way. People who are mature, intellectually curious,
Wendy does
don't
that too.
behave that way.
Wendy
100% does that.
But I think that's just a lot of people because I know people that are on the screen that are on both sides.
Well, when you say both sides, you mean both sides of politics.
Politics.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking politics.
I'm talking about in general
in
too. But at the end of the day, though, we're trying to teach our kids to. I love it when parents say to kids, "You shouldn't act this way towards each other." But then they go on this computer screen and then they act that way. And I'm not going to say, but I sit there and I go, I think it's kind of being hypocritical where I don't go on the screen. My brother doesn't go on the screen and call people out. And we're teaching my niece and nephew, do not be mean to people. If you have something to say to people, you can agree to disagree. That's what's great about America.
I firmly believe in matching energy. So if somebody comes to me respectfully and they disagree, like you'll call me and go, Tom, I just saw what you posted. And he's, by the way, for those at home who don't think that this happens, it happens a lot. He'll call me on the phone and other elected officials will call me on the phone and go, I just saw what you posted. You know, you're not making a very good case. Like you're hurting your own argument. Why are you being so over the top, or why are you phrasing it this way? People do that, and then we'll argue about it. We'll discuss it. We'll debate it. And sometimes I'll go, you know what, they're right, and I'll try and soften my tone or do it a different way, right? All the time. But that's what grown-ups are supposed to do.
So we need to stop electing weak, emotional people. Is that what you're saying, Tom?
That's
we need
not
strong,
where I was going.
We need strong, happy, independent people.
Right.
Because it seems that some of our representatives are depressed, emotional people.
Well, no,
who are all over the place.
Well, for sure, you've got a couple of those on the school committee.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I see. Like I said, I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm not trying to do that.
Is that an insult? If I say
no, I'm not trying to call. I don't know. I'm saying
the truth, though.
Yep. You know what? And you have the right to your opinion. It's a free
It's
country.
it's not
You'll
an
notice,
opinion.
you'll notice that elected officials.
It's the truth. I have a video. You want to see it?
Yeah,
I'll put it up right now.
She learned from the master.
Yeah,
But
no.
you'll notice people in politics. Ryan is a great example, but they all do it. Almost all of them do it, right?
Yeah.
The minute you start mentioning a name, they immediately get all worked up because they're not thinking. They're not thinking of the 30,000 people that might be listening to this and watching it. They're thinking about the one person that they're talking about being mad at them, right? Or targeting them or saying bad things about them. You'll notice that my girl, the sexiest woman alive, Jana Zani Pesci, didn't read my letter to the council once because she got nervous and she apologized after. I'm trying to make the point that she was even though she's my friend. She was worried that if she read the letter and read my name out loud that she was going to get shit for it. And so that's the reason that they do what they do. That's the reason why that little girl on Facebook's doing what she's doing. That's the reason why Heather and Jade and all those other people do what they do, Kelsey Shabilia. It's the reason why they do what they do because they want to make people so uncomfortable to say something out loud that they disagree with that they can actually stifle the debate. And Jana proved that that's true. She proved that it works. And even though she caught herself and she said it out loud, I shouldn't have done that. The fact that she did it means that's why they keep doing what they're doing.
The difference with me, though, I don't care what people think of me. I just feel like I don't. Hear me out. Hear me out.
You censored my letter.
No, I did.
You censored my letter. I said Mary Beth Donovan in that letter, and you didn't read her name.
Because here's the thing. When I talk about someone, I want people to look at me and say, hey, you're going on Tom's show and talking crap about me, where I said, where prior, if people call me up, say, hey, do you have a problem with me? And you've said this.
I have.
You called me up, and you thought I was ignoring you when I said, no, I'm busy. I have my ADHD medicine.
No, it was your phone. Your phone was.
And my phone, plus I was dealing with a bunch of other things. And I said, no, Tom, if I really wanted to tell you that I'm ignoring you, I'd just call you up and say, I'm not talking to you.
Right.
That's what the thing. When people start mentioning names and I'm sitting here going, I don't want people to call me up and say, oh, is this how you're going to talk about me?
Why not?
You go on show?
Why not defend it? Why not say, listen, I'm responsible for what I say.
No.
He's responsible for what he says.
But that's
if you
want
to call me about what I said, I'm happy to have that conversation.
Yeah, no. But like I said, Tom, you could say whatever you want on
By
your
you
show.
holding back, you give more power to the Kelsey Shabilias of the world who want to stifle debate.
See, I think debate is good, but at the same time, I feel like the problem is what we're having in the world today is when people disagree with you, you're evil.
Right.
And when you disagree with people,
I'm evil.
You're evil.
Right. Yes.
You're evil.
No matter what, I'm evil.
Yeah, but they're evil
Darth
too.
Vader.
But I look at it both ways. Like the little girl you want to refer to, I listened to some of her views. I was like, you have a point. I talk to you. You have your point. And I go, why can't you both sit at a table and just talk?
Because she doesn't want to.
Okay. That's
Right? She
it.
doesn't want to. Because some people aren't really interested in the discussion. It's like the people that are complaining about ICE, right? And it all comes full circle because it's all the same thing. It's all the same social dynamic. They complain about there's no cameras, there's no body cameras, and they're shooting people, and they're doing this.
They should
and
have
they're
body
not, and they're not
cameras,
trained. But at
You
the
agree,
end,
right?
it
They
doesn't
should have
matter
body
because my point is none of that matters. Those are all a pretense because they don't want to deport anybody. And so what I do is I try to cut through all that and go, and I actually did it twice this morning. Someone came on, body cameras, bad, lack of training, all this stuff. And I was like, okay, so let's just put all that aside. How many illegals would you deport if you were president? Oh, how many? So don't tell me that it's about this and it's about this and it's
But I
about
want
this.
people to
When at the
understand-
end of the day, if you took care of all those things, you'd still be against deporting
But
illegal
here's the thing.
aliens.
I think the problem is, right? Here's the thing. Barack Obama deported more people than Donald Trump.
Yep.
Fact. Bill Clinton deported more people than Donald Trump.
Right.
Fact. George W. Bush. ICE has been around. The problem is Trump and how it is being perceived through Trump that people are going against ICE all
Trump
of a
is
sudden.
doing half the things they complain about Trump doing. All the other presidents have done.
Yeah, but it's more.
And it's the
Trump.
reason he won.
But it's how it's the messaging. Where Barack and all them.
It's not the no. Here's what I didn't want to go down this road, but here's what it really is. I just wanted to use ICE as an example, but here's what it really is. Under Obama, if they had a detainer for a guy that was here illegally and he was in Middleton jail, in Middleton prison here in Massachusetts, the feds would show up at the jail the day that they were supposed to let him out, and they would take him into custody in the safety of the jail, so they don't have to go into a neighborhood. Right? Now, Trump gets elected, and they say, we're not going to honor detainers.
Yep.
So if there's a violent illegal alien in one of our prisons that turns out and we're going to let them out of prison, you have to go out into the community and get them.
Yep.
So that's why you've got armed, masked ICE agents walking through the streets and neighborhoods of America, where it didn't happen under Bush. I mean, it didn't happen under Biden. It didn't happen under Obama. It didn't happen under Clinton. It didn't happen under Bush. Because under those administrations, the states cooperated with the under those administrations, they all understood that we're all one fucking country. And then all of a sudden, Trump comes along and we have to do everything we can to make his life difficult, to make the country's life difficult, to punish the voters for choosing the guy that they called Hitler for 10 years. That's the whole point. And if Massachusetts said tomorrow, we will honor your detainers if somebody's in prison, half the ICE raids that go on in Lawrence and in Methuen and in Lowell and in Haverhill wouldn't be taking place, because we'd be getting them in the safety of a prison system when they were getting out. And that's the real issue. So when people go, oh, how come there's so many shootings under ICE now? Because you won't let them go into the prisons and get these people. That's the reason. So
Okay, everybody, both sides.
Thank you very much.
I think both sides.
Try the veal. I'm here all week.
But I do want to talk about the trash thing.
Yes, real quick.
Yes.
I also want to say, not only is it $100,000 a year to maintain the Searls building, $200,000 for insurance.
Yeah, but we limited the insurance.
What do you mean?
We just limited the insurance.
You
eliminated, so it's not insured?
No, you changed companies, but it's still $200,000.
I think we limited it.
All right.
Yeah, because
get me the documents on that already.
Yeah, I could talk to the.
All right, real quick on the trash. So you guys have an issue with trash. I don't know why you have an issue with trash.
There's a lot going on this year, Methuen.
Yeah,
there
we're
is.
fixing everything.
Methuen a hotbed of
we're trying to fix everything. So
no, I know.
When
even though Neil Perry was so awesome, now they have all these things to fix.
Well,
just
I'm
saying.
not. Listen, I like.
Just saying.
Listen, Mayor Perry. Mayor Perry was a good mayor, and he did a lot for the city of Methuen.
I know he passed away, so we all have to say how wonderful he was.
No.
However, as a mayor, we've spent the last 2 years trying to fix the mess that he left us.
Wait a minute.
I'm already
as a colleague, I will say Neil Perry cared about Methuen just as much as I did, and did everything to fix from the prior administration that was there. But we're not going to name who for that.
Why not?
You
talking about Jim Dizoglio?
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not trying to get sued for slander.
You're so afraid. What a wuss.
No, did you not just hear me? I don't want to get sued for slander.
Why not? I don't lose. I get sued for slander all the time. I never lose.
All right, but so when I looked at the trash ordinance, I saw that it was a broken policy. We come to find out that they couldn't track barrels. You're supposed to charge $100 for an extra barrel. At current state right now, only 41% of people that bought an extra barrel is actually paying for their barrel. 59% of people with a double barrel are not paying it.
So you're telling me that in Methuen, you're charging your residents for barrels?
For an extra barrel.
For an extra barrel.
So every house gets a barrel.
Gets one barrel.
Yeah. And then if you want to get an extra barrel,
so if you get,
you pay $100.
So
Lawrence
if
is paying about $150.
Recycling.
You get a recycle and a trash bin for free.
And you have to pay $100 for the barrel. Now, is it my barrel? When I buy that barrel, it belongs to me.
You buy
I'm not leasing it. It doesn't go back to them at the end.
No.
I can do what I want with it.
You have $100 per year. You have to pay for the extra
per
barrel.
year.
Yeah, Lawrence.
So it
pays
doesn't belong
$150,
to me. I'm not buying the barrel. I'm leasing it.
Yeah, but so each house gets one barrel, trash barrel, and one recycling barrel.
What if I want to go out and buy my own barrel?
You can't, Lawrence. You can't.
What do you mean you can't?
Lawrence, you can't.
What country?
We're talking about Methuen.
Is this North Korea
Lawrence
or America?
pays $150.
Don't pick on Lawrence. We're talking about Methuen.
Lawrence. I think Haverhill has their own trash.
I'm kidding.
Listen, other people rob banks, so that makes it okay for me to rob banks. I guess.
Stop it now. Anyways. So 41%.
Wait a minute. No, we can't move on from this. I
He's
can't,
not going to let it go.
Every
can't wrap my head
city
around.
does this.
You're going to make me, as a resident, buy a barrel that I don't own.
Extra barrel.
That I don't own.
Rent a barrel, yeah.
I'm going to rent the barrel. I'm not buying the barrel. Right, I'm leasing or renting the barrel that I don't own.
Until you sell the house.
And if I want to go out and just buy the barrel,
you can't do that.
so I don't have a yearly expense, and I can buy the exact same barrel.
But
this is the thing.
You're telling me in a free country I can't buy my own
friggin'
barrel?
You get one barrel free.
damn, people gotta pay for driving on the road.
Wait
they
a
gotta
minute.
pay for
Time out.
property taxes.
Time out,
They
you
gotta
two.
pay for water,
Time out, you
heat,
two.
electricity, food,
Time out, you
Imagine
two.
a
Rent,
couple with 3
mortgage,
kids.
No.
car,
One barrel.
gas, and trash
Wait,
barrel.
Yeah. If you
I
want
gotta
an
pay for a
extra
fishing
barrel.
license. I gotta get a permit to put a porch on.
Oh,
and now you're gonna
God.
make me pay $100 to not own the barrel, to rent the barrel. And if I want, I can't go out and buy the exact same barrel and own it. So I have to pay $100 a year. If that's not communism, what the fuck is?
wait. No, it's actually $250 a year now for an extra barrel.
No, well, wait a minute. We have to approve that.
Oh, you haven't approved it? Okay,
don't
somebody put
know.
it here. Okay, we have to approve
They'll
it.
approve it.
Yeah, no,
Any opportunity that a government body has to suck money and steal money from their
but that's what I
constituents, they're
said.
gonna do
I'm
it.
against raising it to 250 because at the end of the day,
You should be against stopping people from buying their own damn barrel. That's what you should be against.
well, no, the
if
program,
you care about the Constitution, if you care, listen, the problem is the local level is where we lose all of our rights. If you care about the Constitution, you would be sitting there with your colleagues going, wait a minute, you're telling people they can't go buy their own barrel?
But
they
they
can't
used to
buy
be
their
able
own
to.
barrel.
they used to be, and then they went into this program, and it's there now. It's,
Oh, well,
you
I guess
can't-
that makes it okay.
But you
They
can
went into a
fix it.
program. You should have said that from the beginning. What was I thinking?
Yeah, but
But-
who pays for these programs? Our taxes.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, you pay off the time.
I think I just found my next editorial.
Okay.
I think so too.
I think I just
Well,
found my
make
next
sure you
editorial.
not just include Methuen. You include all the other cities too.
Of course.
Because I know.
But we'll highlight Methuen because that's how we found out about
Exactly.
it.
And now
but
they're
we
trying to
were
raise
the
it, and they're
you
trying
guys,
to raise it to
right, they're trying to raise it to
250.
250. Wow. But see, if Nick was here, we would never have this conversation. If Nick was here, it would be, well, it's not really $100. You really kind of own it, but you don't own it.
Divided by 12.
It's kind of maybe on a leapy year when the moon is in Capricorn. It would be every excuse in the
you
world.
guys pick on my brother so much.
But it's so much fun, though.
you
It's
know.
so much. You ask him what time it is, he tells you how to build a clock. And when he's done, you go, okay, but what time is it? And well, in China it could be 12 o'clock, but because they're across the prime meridian, it's a different day. So over here, like you never just get. I remember I asked him one day. I said, listen, in general, I don't know anything about gas taxes. What do you think about like the gas tax? What do you think about? Do they work? Do they not work? Is it abused? Is it one of those things like
It's abused.
with the cigarette tax? But I just wanted his perspective. I
Yeah.
wanted to know, how do you think about these things in general? And I got like a Willie Lantigua answer. I got, well, some people feel this. I need to know what bill you're talking about before I can answer that question. I'm not talking about a specific bill. I just want to know in general. There's no microphone. There's no camera. I'm not writing anything down. I'm not going to hold you to something. I just want off the top of your head, what do you think in general about? And the guy couldn't fucking answer the question. Like he couldn't do it because he was so nuanced and he had to choose every word carefully. He didn't want to be pinned down.
That's what makes him a good politician.
10 years from now, you're going to say that I said what you said, what I said. And then you get this guy. And he comes in and you ask him a
And I
question.
blush.
Honest.
And he just fucking
And I
answers the
blush.
question.
And I get
he-
like.
But you're answering the questions. And
I'm like bashful. I
my
listen to when
readers,
somebody goes-
readers, and my viewers and my listeners on audio, we have more audio downloads than video. The people who consume the media that I put out love people like you, not just you personally, but people like you who will come on, have the debate, have the discussion, say what you really think off the top of your mind, and willing to say, don't hold me to this, but I think.
Yeah.
Right?
So talking about the trash,
Yeah.
$100 to rent a fucking barrel. What is wrong
So-
with you people?
An
is there
extra barrel.
anything in the writing, the new,
Mhm.
where someone can go and like randomly and check the, how much
Yeah,
it weights?
we have. Wait, check the rates.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So we have a trash coordinator right now
Okay.
that's supposed to be enforcing like lids should be shut.
Is that Karina Papalato, but not the other Karina
Yeah,
Papalato?
yeah.
'Cause I
Yeah.
saw her name on the list of like salaries, and I went, Karina works for the city. Then I
Yeah.
realized it's another Karina.
Yeah,
Who would have thought?
yeah. I was concerned too. Yeah,
She
she
can
Seems,
randomly
she
go?
seems to be doing a good job.
No,
She
she can
is.
randomly go and
She's
say
doing
how
it.
many tons. Like I want to see, like physically. No?
yeah, she's been riding in the trucks. She's
Okay.
been explaining.
I love
to-
hands-on people.
Yeah, I love that too.
Hands-on are great.
The problem right now with her right now is she's doing 4 jobs for one person. And this is where I'm like, well, in the ordinances that I'm putting and I've been pushing my other colleagues, is law enforcement should be getting involved to make things catch up. And the debate is, do we want law enforcement to enforce trash ordinances? And I get that. I understand that. But however, though, to catch up for 4 years, one person
They're trying to catch them do what?
I don't agree with that.
catch up.
No, the police. They talk about the
Yeah, the police to
To enforce what?
trash ordinances, like keep your lid shut or report people overflow.
It's like communist Russia.
It's not communist Russia.
The police are going to come by and
It's
make sure that
not.
your lid is
You're
down
gonna
on
get
your
a
trash
ticket.
bag.
It's not.
no moving violation.
It's. I look.
Do you
at,
see how people that are constitutional people like myself see what you guys
But
do
then
at the local
people in Methuen.
level?
But wait a minute. I'm trying to keep taxes down
I
and
understand.
finding ways.
I understand that
And
there's
trash-
good motivation behind
and
taking our
trash
rights
is
away,
expensive.
but I'm saying that you're still taking our rights away, even though you have a good reason.
But am I really taking your rights away of shutting the lid when trash is going all over the street?
What if I want to take my trash and just go to the transfer and
You
go to the
can.
trash station? Am I
You
going to have
can.
to pay for that too?
No, trash.
Oh, so I could
if
just-
you're
I
a
could-
resident, you pay for your
$10
You pay. You have to
$10
pay.
for your car, but if you're a commercial, it's like more.
yeah.
That's fine. So
$10.
So instead of spending $100 a
And seniors
year,
are free.
Oh, okay.
I can go
there
to
you
the
go.
I can go to the dump and I could just dump off my trash.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
$10, but you gotta
At
pay
least
for
that makes-
some things. So
Yeah,
like the
like-
tanks,
yeah,
like
your
the
tank-
the
your
gas
microwave.
tanks, you gotta
now
pay
they're
for
just
that.
nickel, now they're just nickel and diming
yeah.
me to get the
a
money
fridge,
back.
you gotta pay for like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
but you.
Here's
can-
an idea. How about let people buy their own friggin' barrels? How about telling people if they're going to pay for the barrel, they can buy the barrel, but they don't have to pay every year for the extra barrel. You say they get the one barrel for free, but they don't own the barrel, right?
No,
That's
they
first
own
barrel.
the first barrel they own.
So if they want to take it and they want to just bring it to their summer house, they can do that.
No, because
Then they don't own the barrel.
well, because if they bring
this is
it,
what I'm saying.
because on the
That's
barrel,
a Nick answer.
No, but on the barrel it says Methuen. So unless Salisbury or
So
whatever,
then they don't own the barrel.
But yeah, but they're giving a free barrel.
No, they're given use of a free barrel. It's not their
Okay.
barrel.
Okay.
But these are the things that local communities should, and not just you. This happens in Lawrence, Methuen, Haverhill, everywhere. This is the problem at the local level: is that nobody thinks, and we saw it during COVID when you had Neil Parry again, God rest his soul, was chasing kids through ball fields because they were playing ball. They were playing catch with a baseball 90 feet away, and telling people, "Well, no, we have to because of an emergency pandemic." And none of these local officials ever thought, when I got sworn in, I swore to uphold the Constitution. That should be first, before city ordinances, before policies, before emergency declarations. The Constitution needs to come first. And unfortunately, we found out during COVID that none of the elected officials at the local level give two shits at all about
well,
it.
I think we just
And it
didn't
creeps
know.
into the trash.
What-
It creeps into zoning ordinances. It creeps into everything.
I was on school committee. I didn't know, and I did what I was told by what you
The
would say.
experts.
And
the same experts that said if you take the vaccine, you can't
Well,
get the virus, you
well,
can't transmit
wait.
the virus. But if you don't take the vaccine, you're putting people who took
I-
the vaccine and you're putting them at
I-
risk.
I-
And
honest-
you lose your job.
Lose your
but
job.
what
People are suing for that. And they're
military.
I'm
winning.
going to be honest with you. The one thing that finally kind of did me in with this whole thing was when you could sit at a table, take your mask off, but Billy over here coughs, but your bubble is going to protect you. And when I say that and jokingly, and I don't want to scare make everybody feel like, oh, like their fears are not important because people were scared. They were told.
I had a
But-
guy.
But sitting in a restaurant and I take my mask off, but then when
Just
I
there's
get
a,
up,
a glass thing.
but when I get up, I gotta put my mask on. What is the difference if someone coughs? Supposedly, what it was, if you're not away from each other, and he coughs, I'm gonna get sick.
Right, but you're making my point, and that is that at the local level, local elected officials don't give two shits. They don't think
That's not
even a
true.
little bit about the Constitution.
That's not true.
You hear, but that's our policy. Remember the guy that went into City Hall 3 years ago with a camera? He was a First Amendment auditor before that became very popular. And he walked into the Inspectional Services office, and the nice old man that works there, he's probably the nicest guy in the world, was like, "You need permission. That's our policy." And he's like, "No, your policy
No.
does not supersede the Constitution
No,
of the United States."
like those
And they
things.
literally called the cops
No.
guys with guns and badges who were supposed to be out protecting people because a guy was walking around with a camera. And then eventually, thank God we had Joel Amo. Was it Joel Amo? who's the sergeant in charge of early nights? Is it a lamo? Not a lamo.
Oh my God, Tom, you're gonna
I know
write
it's
this
terrible.
about this trash barrel. There is so much information. Like look up who the vendor is.
Yeah, it's Harvey.
And if you, and then if you like, let's say it's just 1 week, you can pay $10 for a package of 5 bags. So you can put. Trash
And they're also charging $10 for a
$10.
blue bag for overages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does it stop, Ryan? We look to young guys like you to put a stop to this shit.
I tried to pass my policy, and now I'm getting whacked. No, it's
what was your policy? Your policy
was to fix it. Like they had DPW as the appeal officer, which you could get anybody appeal officer, in heavy fines. Because the tonnage was going up so much in Methuen. There's no enforcement. That's what Karine is there for.
Why not just pick up everybody's friggin' trash for free? They pay so much money in property taxes. They spend so much money on everything else.
You get that.
Why not just let them pick up all the trash for free?
But
all of it, not a little bit, but then you're going to pay for more, but then there's an overage, there's an extra barrel.
No.
I grew up when we had 50-gallon steel drum barrels, and they would come into the backyard and roll them out full. Then the truck would come and empty them. Then they would roll them back. And in Lawrence in 1986, we had a huge, huge controversy when Kevin Sullivan was running for mayor. And they were talking about stopping barrel rollback. They were only talking about, we're not going to roll it back when it's empty. You're going to have to roll back your own barrel. And there was a fury throughout the community. Like people were picketing City Hall. They were physical threats got made against city councilors. I remember David Bain was one of the people that was getting threatened for it. And now, look where we are. They used to roll it out, dump it. It didn't matter how much you put out. You could put a TV out, you could put a mattress, and they would pick it up. And now we're nickel and diming people to death. On the same time, you're complaining that you're losing all your businesses to New Hampshire. That you have white flight out of Methuen, and you have all these other people coming in. All the complaints that you make answer all the other complaints that you make.
But I think
you're your own worst enemy.
But I think with trash, though, people could put as much out with the overusage
if you pay $10,
bags. Overusage bags, stuff like that.
More money.
But trash.
I thought the Democrat Party told us that anything that had a disparate impact on poor people was racist because most people who were brown and black were poor. And so now we have all these fees. And it seems to me if the Democrat Party, if the Sharon Pollards of the world are going to run Methuen from behind the scenes, they should be walking the walk.
They're
and they
socialists.
shouldn't be They shouldn't be screwing the residents for all this money. And I get you're always looking for as much revenue as you get. But why are you looking for as much revenue as you get? Because you want to keep spending.
Well, no, that's the thing. But if you hear me at my city council meetings, and I will give Nicholas Dizoglio credit for this. Nicholas Dizoglio said
I don't mind giving him credit when he's right.
No. And he was right about this last year.
Doesn't happen
and
often.
I don't want to steal his quote. Methuen doesn't have a spending problem. It has a revenue problem. They like to spend, but not collect revenue.
You're spending $375,000 for a deputy chief that's making $100,000 more than the last chief that we had that was called a criminal contract. He's
police?
The police chief. Joe Solomon's under indictment right now. They said that he was making more than the guy who's the head of ICE, more than the president. He was making so much money. He was the highest paid chief. And now you've got a guy who's only a deputy chief making $100,000 more, but you don't have a spending problem?
But
you got a spending problem.
No. But with the way
you got a deputy chief making $370,000.
No, Nick's referring to we do have a spending problem.
Oh, you're saying he said he does have a spending problem.
No, the quote is Methuen, because people will say like...
Now he's got me confused.
So let me correct myself. Nick said in his meeting, and I understood what he was saying. He says, Methuen always says, we don't spend on the roads. We don't do this. We don't do that. But we don't spend on parks. Nick came up and goes, no, Nick, we do spend. We just spend it in the wrong place.
I agree
and
with
we
that.
don't collect revenue. Like our fees and fines, where you have 41% of the people actually being good citizens and paying their extra barrel, and we're not holding the 59% accountable.
All right, we got to go. We're almost done. Francisco Paulino, state representative, who I hope you heard what I said at the beginning of the show, Mr. Paulino, state representative said, that's my brother Ryan Dizoglio, my favorite Dizoglio. So one more thing.
Yes.
back to the Constitution.
Yes.
You guys allowed flock cameras in Methuen. Shame on all of you.
Okay.
Shame on all of you. Did you do any research on this at all when you just
You
said,
guys voted on this?
They voted to allow the flock cam. Like, if you wanted to put it just regular surveillance cameras at, important intersections where there's a lot of accidents, just to be able to go back and see who caused an accident, that's one thing. But you've got these flock cameras that record conversations. They're creating a grid in our community so that they can track. And by the way, it's not just the Methuen police that have access to that info. The state police has access. The attorney general, who's an elected official and a politician, has access to that. The feds have access to that. The evil Hitler, Nazi, racist, Nazi, fascist Donald Trump has access to it. ICE has access to it. ICE has access to it, Democrats. ICE has access to it. So you guys if you guys were just putting in cameras like we used to have, they were just traffic cameras, I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. I think Linda Susi's right about that. But you guys put in flock cameras, and I guess my first and only question at the end of the show, I wish I'd started with this, is did you do any research on these things at all?
We went and we talked to Chief McNamara, told us that.
Well, the cops are always going to be for
and
more surveillance.
And again,
makes their job easier.
But I read you did an article about it.
I did. I've done several articles on it.
So I read it, and I'm part of the Public Safety Committee. I'm actually the chair, and one of the things that I'm going to bring up. Moving forward is where we're going to put, I'm going to ask those questions. It's actually more I do research on it. Again, that's when you start. But when certain situations of a murderer that was driving by car, we could track them.
Right.
Going
but you
through
could also track people that aren't committing crimes, and that's the problem.
So there's the good and bad about it.
I hate to quote Bob Hayden, who used to be the police chief in Lawrence, because we didn't get along, and I didn't like him, and I still don't like him. But I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. So back in like 1999, we were sitting on a panel together, and we were on opposite sides of whether or not Lawrence should have a curfew. And I was pro curfew because we had a lot of riots that were going on. We had a lot of what we today call teen takeovers. Back then, we just called them riots. And I said we need to have a curfew. If you're under 18, if you're under 16, you should be home, and your parents should be fined if we catch you out. And he said one of the most profound things, and it still sticks to me today.
To me.
He said to me, "Well, listen," I was wrong, and I'm glad now that I know that I was wrong. And he said one of the most profound things that still sticks in the back of my head. So thank you, Bob Hayden. As much as I don't like you, you did a great service on this. He said on the air, he said, "Tom, I don't disagree with what you're saying. If we had a curfew, it would stop some of these teen riots. It would stop some of the car breaks. It would stop some of the crime that's happening by young people. But I could solve all the crime tomorrow if we just suspend the Constitution." We could solve all the crime on tomorrow if you suspend the Constitution and you let us go into people's houses without a warrant when we suspect them of committing a crime. If we could pull people over without probable cause. If we could stop and search people on the streets just because we feel like it. We could end all crime tomorrow. But at what point do you think about the Constitution while you're doing these things? And he was 100. And I hate to say it. I hate to give him credit, but I believe in giving credit where credit's due. Even 30 years later. He was right. And all I want you guys in Methuen and in Lawrence, the local boards, zoning board, school committee, whatever board, library board of trustees, is can you guys just think about the Constitution first and think about how this is going to be abused and how it can be abused? And again, I'm not against cameras. Put up all the cameras that you want. Make them surveillance cameras that are really for... Let's see who caused that accident at the corner of Broadway and Hampshire Street. Let's see. Well, we're looking for a guy in a blue van with white lettering on it. Let's go back and look at the cameras and see if he went through any of our camera systems at all, because we're looking for that one guy. But once you have the flock system, you have AI, which now logs facial recognition. So they can put in there's five cops in Georgia right now that are under indictment. They've been fired and they're under indictment because they were looking up the boyfriends of their ex-wives, where they had been, where they went to work, where they went. Turns out one guy's ex-wife's boyfriend was cheating on her, and he went back and used the flock system to find him going to the other girlfriend's house and then told the ex-wife because he wanted her back. These are all the things that shouldn't be happening and by the way, police officers are what? They're the government.
Yep.
And I love Scott McNamara. But if cops had their way, they would suspend the Fourth Amendment and they'd be able to come in and search your house whenever they wanted to, because they want what's easiest for them to do their job. And I get it. You're focused on public safety, but that's the reason why cops don't make the laws. Cops enforce the laws. You guys make the laws.
No, I you have a great point.
That's
there.
my lecture for today.
But at the same time, I believe police officers do the best they can with, and especially when you.
Most of them do.
Most of them do.
Most of the
90% of them.
Right.
I will say 90% of them.
Growing up, I would say 90%. I mean, it's probably more like 75.
I don't believe. I think Methuen has a great police force.
Methuen does have an excellent police force.
I love the police
you
officers.
get a couple of bad apples, but for the most part,
every police. But you could say that about everything. You have bad police officers, bad firemen, bad teachers, bad whatever.
But you put safeguards in place.
Yes,
right?
and I think. But
so Scott McNamara said to me over lunch one day. He said, Tom, with the flex system,
one of the best chiefs we've ever had.
100%. And he said to me, we have guardrails in place, so you have to sign in, you have to use your ID to access the data. You can only go in for certain reasons. And he's probably right about that in Methuen now. However, the flock company has access to all of that data, and they sell it to Google and Facebook and Instagram. The feds have access to that information, and they can tap into it anytime they want, and they don't have to ask the Methuen police to do it. ICE has access to all that information. They can go through and they can find, we're looking for this license plate of this illegal alien because we know that he's living with his brother, and his brother's driving this car with this license plate. They punch in the license plate, and any flock camera anywhere in the country that he has driven past is in that database, and it pops right up and tells them what time they were there. So it's bad for the left, it's bad for the right, and we depend on people at the local level to protect our rights on this.
Yeah, no, I understand, and when we do more, and I get.
And I'm head to head with Trump. I think Trump is 100% wrong for all of this.
And I think what we're heading for is, you're right. Small individuals will have control over this, and what stops them from abusing their power.
100%.
Because at the end of the day, people are people.
Mm-hmm.
We're all humans, and when we have
that's
power.
That's right. Communism works on paper. Socialism works on paper.
Yeah. But eventually,
fascism works on paper. But when it's on paper, you're not factoring in the human element.
Yeah.
And human beings suck. People suck.
And what's great about capitalism, and when people want to, and
a merit-based system.
But here's the thing. And because the DSA, is that what they're called?
Yeah, the new communists.
They want to get rid of the presidency. So that's one of their platforms I'm hearing. Like, they want to get rid of the presidency.
What was going to happen?
Yeah, they want it as one parliamentary system. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know.
That's what they want. They want a Politburo. They want communism.
They want, and this is where I look at it. Why our country has lasted 250. We're the youngest country, but we are the oldest established as a government. Like, Britain has changed over government.
Everything that's already put in place for the
reason
government.
But it starts at the bottom up when you have people at the local level who are not paying attention to our rights. By the time it gets to the federal level, all these policies and these rules and these other things, it all filters up. And then the people at the top, all they have to do is knock one or two pillars of what holds us together as a free country down.
But also Congress does do
all the way down, all the way down to.
But Congress doesn't do anything.
We have separation
Why
of
do
powers.
I need? Why do I? I know I keep.
But Congress can end that. So Congress could pass a law, and then says this AI system needs to be limited.
100%.
But it takes.
But the Republicans won't do it.
That's the
and the
thing.
Democrats sure as hell won't. Although the Democrats are starting to come around.
But here's the thing. Republicans had control of the House and the Senate and the presidency for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 2 years at least. In their midterms, what have they accomplished?
Not a whole lot, because they suck.
They don't do anything.
Right.
And then they say all the time, well, we have to be in control to get anything done. No, the problem is nobody wants to come. That's one thing I say.
That's why I'm not a Republican anymore, because I agree with what they say when they run for office, but they get in and don't do it.
But here's the thing, and I know people will look at, and I said this, Ronald Reagan. I will say that there's a few Republican presidents that I love: Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, and I know people are going to be screaming to the rooftops, going, a Democrat liking. I'm a conservative Democrat, but that likes Republican president. It is. There's me. John F. Kennedy would have been a Republican.
100%.
Okay, Bill Clinton.
Martin Luther King was a Republican.
Yeah, Bill Clinton technically would have been a Republican if he just admits it. Okay, it's funny how he just admits it. But Ronald Reagan, the minority whip of the Democratic Party at the time, I was watching a documentary of Ronald Reagan, and he said, I couldn't dread going and having a meeting with Ronald Reagan because he would want 90% of what he wanted. But what I loved about Ronald Reagan, he was willing to give me 10. And that's the problem with America today, Congress, federal, all that. Nobody's willing to give the other side at least 10%. It's either all or nothing.
And this is the problem. You have Democrats who will vote against every single thing Donald Trump wants because it's Donald Trump who wants it. And that means you care about your party more than you care about your country. And there's Republicans the same, but it's more on the Democrat side. The Republicans at least try, I think, to negotiate and compromise on some things. The Democrats just want it all their way. Before we go, we got a mayor's race coming up next year. DJ, we assume he's going to run for re-election.
Are you considering running for mayor?
No.
You're not thinking about it?
Not right now. No, I like my councilor. I think DJ is doing a good job.
I think there's a couple of councilors that would make a good mayor.
Who?
So let's say DJ doesn't run, because I don't want this to be an anti-DJ thing. Let's say DJ. I think John Drew would make a great mayor.
I'm not going to speak on John.
Of course you're not.
I'm not going to speak on John. I
think Patricia Valley would make a great mayor.
I think Patricia would be a great mayor.
And I think Nellie would make a good mayor.
Yeah. And I think, and he kicks me in the back of the head. I will say my brother would be a good mayor.
I think so too.
I think he would be. It would be very. Trust me. It sometimes hurts saying that. I don't. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think he'd be a terrible mayor, but I think the Democrat Party would be running the city.
I think you'd be surprised with my brother. My brother, when he has
what he says privately, and what he says publicly.
Maybe he would have to change a little bit.
Like the state reps from Lawrence who told me that they were pro-life and then voted for this abortion bill. That would be your brother. Your brother's the kind. Listen, my biggest problem with him is it's so dumb, right? It's so petty. I admit right out of the gate that it's petty. But sometimes little things just hit me and it tells me what kind of person somebody is. And so one day I posted on Facebook that the Democrat Party cries about diversity, equity, and inclusion. They cry about white supremacy. They cry about the white man. And they're about to nominate a rich white guy from Andover, Danco, to be their congressman. And your brother called me on the phone. And I'll never forget it because it still hits me so crazy. He goes, Tom, you realize he's not white. He's Lebanese. And I'm like, that's like saying he's not white. He's left-handed. What does Lebanese have to do with anything? He's white. If he and I walked into Bally's on Thursday night, on the busiest night, and all those dark-skinned Dominican guys are sitting at the bar, they're not going to go, hey, who's that gringo with the dark-skinned Lebanese guy? They're going to go, who are the two gringos? That's what they're going to say. He's a white guy. And your brother always seems to find a way to tell you that it's raining while he's peeing on your head. And like he said, he knows the guy's white. He's looking at the guy. But he redefined what white was to make it not true. And so that's my issue with him. But I don't think in full disclosure, he wouldn't be a bad mayor. I think he'd be a decent mayor. I don't think he'd be a great mayor. But I think at the end of the day, the Democrat Party would be running the city. Sharon Pollard would be running the city.
Maybe one day I will run for mayor. Like I think
John Drew would, and as liberal as John is, John pretends he's not as liberal as he is. But John is still very liberal. But I don't think he'd have. I don't think he'd be.
He is liberal.
Yeah, he's.
I'm not going to speak on John.
He's not. He's more liberal than he lets on than he is.
He's a skilled worker.
But I look at it as I like my career right now. But down the road, after I'm done with council, because I feel like finish off what you started. Okay. Maybe I run.
Nick could have beat DJ the last time around.
I think it would be a good election.
If Nick had run against DJ, he could have.
I think it would be a great, but
I don't know that he could do it next year because now DJ's got more time behind him.
Yeah, experience.
He's building bridges now. When at the beginning he was burning bridges like crazy.
He's getting funding.
So he's getting more of a record that he can run on. And I have to say I'm a little impressed. I hate to say it because I do enjoy ripping on DJ, but I think he's gotten a lot better. I think he's trying to reach out to people for bridges that he had burned to try and reconnect with people, which is very mature on his part. I think he's coming along. And I think he's also trying very hard to be intellectually curious about what he thinks he might be wrong about. I think he's revisiting a lot of things. And that shows political maturity. It shows intellectual maturity.
I will say I've known DJ since I was 11 years old. And because he was my brother's best friend.
Well, what was he, 8?
No, he's older than me.
Oh, he's older?
Yeah, I'm the old. So out of the three, Nick, DJ, and I'm the youngest.
DJ's like 36. Right?
Yeah, he's my brother's age.
Yeah,
And
he said that on the show one day, and I was like, really?
Yeah,
'Cause I still see him as the 14-year-old kid
yeah,
that worked for Bill Manzi.
I will say this: he's just like Nick. Him and I, we love Methuen, and I think when he thinks he's just like me. He thinks that we got to do what's best for the city, but sometimes it's stressful as a mayor. It's stressful as a council. There's days that I vote on things, and it was different. This is why I'll say the difference between school committee and a mayor and being on the council. Where on the school committee, it was easier to vote because I said, I know I'm doing the right thing for the kids. Whereas I'm voting on the council now, sometimes I'll have to sit there and go, is this beneficial for the whole city?
All right, we're way
Yeah.
over. We're
Yeah,
out of
no,
time. It's after 4 o'clock, so
2 hours.
last question, we got to go.
Yeah.
So I asked for public documents. I'm not going to sandbag you. I asked for public documents. You guys went into executive session. You voted to give me some. You voted not to give me others. You have a city council who could not attend that meeting. I think she is looking, I don't want to speak for her, I think she is looking for another vote so she can vote on that. Would you allow a reconsideration of the vote so that a colleague could be on the record on the issue?
I reconsidered a vote already. And
I kicked the shit out of you for
yeah,
it.
so
And you're asking him to do it.
Yeah, and I honestly,
I do see the irony, by the way. I do see it.
but I'm not going to reconsider this because at the end of the day, I don't want to be the counselor that just reconsider votes all the time. I did it once because
Sounds kind of selfish.
That's fine. At least I'm being honest.
I
can't be mad. You can't be
You
mad
can't
at
be
me.
mad 'cause
So
the
if there
outcome
comes
is
a
not what he
day,
wants.
if there comes a day when a vote happens, and you're not there for whatever reason, you're in Spain, wherever, you're with Nicole somewhere.
There's an emergency meeting.
Right, and there's a meeting, and then you say to your colleagues, "Listen, I want to be on the record on this. Could you guys reconsider so I can at least vote on this and be on the record?" And you go to your colleagues. Do you want them to say no to you? Do you want them to say, "You know what? This is a very important issue, but we're not going to let you. We're not going to do a reconsideration for you because you missed the vote." I don't think that's right.
Well,
Doesn't
good
sound like
point.
they're
But,
working together, right?
Right.
but
Well, all
at-
this unity
but at
right
the-
out the window.
but at the same time, though,
Do we have to come together?
But at the same time,
Isn't diversity our strength?
John Savastano is saying, what is the right thing to do?
Right. What is the right, not for you, but what is the right thing to do for your colleagues? What is the right thing?
But I understand that. But there was other colleagues.
Somebody got to him. Somebody
What?
definitely got to him.
Yeah.
Who?
You.
No.
Somebody got to you.
No.
You went from being completely reasonable on every single issue we talked about for 2 hours to suddenly, yeah, no, I'm not
He
doing
didn't even
that.
give in on the colleague thing.
No.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I've already reconsidered a vote, and I got kicked the crap out of, not just by you, but many people. So then it's like, okay, why am I going to be the reconsidered?
But you're not reconsidering your vote. You're not changing your vote. What we wrapped you on is that you changed your vote. All I'm saying is, and I think
Open
your
it.
colleague is saying out of courtesy to them,
Open it.
you can still vote no if you want. Vote no. But that other colleague wants to be on the record, and that person wants to be part of that vote who couldn't be here because she was out of the country.
But
Don't
why,
you deserve? Doesn't she deserve the courtesy of that?
Wait. Why
Isn't
are
that
they
the reason
voting
why
for-
we have two vote? We have
Why
to
are
have,
they voting for public records, for taxes that we pay
Me-
for them to spend money? Why? Isn't that like a lot? Why aren't we allowed to have access to that?
yeah, we should have access.
because there's a
We should have access to everything.
because during this I was advised by the city attorney that there is a current litigation going on in these
that the city's
matters.
not a party to.
But
That the city's not
but
a party
again,
to.
But you okay?
I wasn't
we
going to
talked
get into the. I wasn't going to get into
Yeah.
the issue, but the city's not a part of the litigation,
Okay.
so the city has no reason. And by the way, even if the city was, let's say that the city's being, let's say a teacher is going up the steps of City Hall to go to a meeting, and she slips and she falls and she sues the city, and city councilors behind the scenes have an executive session. And the minutes of that executive session make her case. They make her case stronger. And you say, well, no, we're not going to release those minutes because it's going to hurt our case. Doesn't that person as a litigant in court have the right to have discovery and have all that information
But-
that could exonerate
you.
their position?
I think they're supposed to. By
I-
law,
no,
no?
I fight with
I guess.
Stephanie Infante and Lawrence about this
But
all
again,
the time.
but also as your attorney could file a subpoena right? Is that how it works? And then request those
Yeah,
documents
she's
by
got to
the
go to
court.
court blind,
and then
not
go.
knowing what case
But
they built on
like
her.
I said, I'm not trying to justify.
what they're claiming is they're claiming that it's attorney-client privilege. That's why they're not releasing
And
it.
the
And I say if there's
listening to the
attorney-client
experts.
privilege with the city, and you have city elected officials conspiring behind the scenes to do something wrong, and that those minutes will hurt your case, then those minutes should hurt your case.
I want to see the.
We all want to see those.
But
minutes.
if they listen, I'm not going to reconsider.
Somebody read them to me on the phone. I just can't write about it till I actually physically have the documents, so my person's screwed.
So
Can somebody leak them?
I'm not going to reconsider.
Somebody leak them.
I
please.
already.
All right, okay.
I already reconsidered one. I hope my other
Johnson
member.
Vastano's on a roll. He said, "Is he afraid that will change the vote?"
No,
I don't think it will change the vote. I think she just wants to be on the record.
but at the same time, like I just already
All right,
reconsidered.
the answer is no. We got our
Yeah.
answer.
That's it.
I already
I mean,
reconsidered.
at least you're being honest, like you said.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
But that's not being a good.
I
colleague.
don't want to keep hitting his brother, but if I'd asked his brother that question, with 3 more hours, we still wouldn't have an answer.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah, but try to work together. You know.
No, but
give an
that's
opportunity
fine.
to other people to vote.
But here's
I'm getting
the
the shit kicked out of me on text messages from people saying John Drew is not a liberal.
I don't think he is.
He kind of is.
I don't think so.
Listen, all right, we got to get him here. We got to get him here.
Tell him to come here.
We got to
okay,
get him here.
You know what? I will say this. John and I have been doing a lot of things.
I love that.
He's a great counselor.
Yeah.
Can I get one of the benches with my name on it?
You want to
He's
donate?
a great counselor. I think you have a lot of great
Dedication.
counselors. I think you have a lot of great. I think Patricia Valley is the unsung hero of that council. She's very quietly getting a lot of things done. She doesn't pat herself in the back. She doesn't go on Facebook. I see videos of her on Facebook, and I think that they're political. And then I run it through AI to see what she's talking about, to have it do it in English, and it's all about real estate stuff. And I'm like,
She's reasonable.
I love
she's
Patricia.
quietly getting a lot of things for her district done. I only wish that she would tell people like me stuff that she was doing so I could write stories about it. So when she runs for re-election, people know what she's done.
I will say
Or
this.
when she runs for state rep, maybe.
I
hopefully.
love everybody on the council. I love all my
She
colleagues.
should have run against Ryan.
I
She
love.
would have clobbered him.
I love all my colleagues.
And she would not have voted. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but she would not have voted for that
Tom,
abortion bill.
you've made this monster here.
I know I have.
But I'm serious. I love all my colleagues. I love Patricia.
All of them?
All of them.
All of them.
All
There
of
isn't
them.
one that you don't like.
Nope.
There isn't one you don't not get along with.
Nope.
Really?
I literally get along with
He's
everybody.
out of the council
Now,
already.
now, I don't know how
you
they
said
feel
the
about
future
me.
Mrs. Duggan needed to resign, and it made her
Oh
cry.
my God!
Dude,
You said that to her?
You made the future
Whoa,
Mrs.
whoa,
Duggan
whoa,
cry.
what? Is that what you said to her?
I did not.
If you can't make these meetings, you should
No,
resign.
I
she was
said-
out of the country.
That is not what I said. I said if people cannot come to the table and talk, resign. That's what I said. That was not a jab at anybody.
Is this about
She was the one not at the
situation that
meeting.
the
happened?
trash?
The trash.
trash
That was a trash
thing.
meeting.
Oh.
The emergency trash meeting she was
Yeah.
out of the country for.
And I knew Yonilda, and I defended Yonilda that she was out on vacation.
So you asked her to resign.
I
Who are
did
you
not.
to tell her to do
I
that?
did not.
You
Jo-
resign.
Tom,
Right?
stop stirring the
I'll
pot.
pull up the video. You said if you can't be here to do your job, you
No,
shouldn't
I
be on
didn't.
the
I
council.
said if you can't come to the table and have a conversation, resign.
That sounds like
Because there was combating internally.
No, it's because Nellie wasn't there, Patricia
That's
wasn't
not
there,
true.
and
And
the future
Janilda.
Mrs.
You know
Duggan-
what?
the
You know what?
Latinas, the Powerpuff Girls.
You know what, Nellie? I will say this, and you could ask Nellie. Nellie understood what I was saying, and when I came up to her, I said, "I hope you didn't find offense." That she said, "No."
What are you doing after this?
What am I
we
doing?
gotta go. What are you doing after this?
I gotta go to the Business Alliance.
All right. When is that? Because there's
I gotta ask.
at 6:00. I have to be at the new. It used to be Tavern on the Merrimack. They've changed it now. It's going to be.
Oh, you going to that?
I'm going.
Yeah.
They're doing like a grand opening tonight.
Is that Methuen?
No, it's right on Merrimack Street down
Oh,
here,
here.
right here in Lawrence, the Lawrence North end of a line.
Not on
It,
Riverwalk.
it used to be
across
the
the street.
it used to be the Frosty Mug. Then it was the Tavern on the Merrimack, and now it's going to be Fonzie's
And what are
Tavern.
they're opening it now? I want to go.
Yeah, they just have a new owner, so.
You think I can go
Julie,
with this?
yeah. Julie Duran, that'd be not be a problem. Julie Duran, who used to work for the city of Lawrence, who I've known for 40 years, came over to us at Salvatore's yesterday and said, it's her husband that bought it. So,
Oh, okay.
so she
And they have
wants.
food?
Yeah, it's food. And by the way, I hate to say this because there's a lot of great places around here to eat, but if you want the best Reuben sandwich you've ever had, Believe it or not, this tiny little tavern on Merrimack Street that seats maybe 9 people, maybe 12 people,
Really?
has the best Reuben sandwich. I go to the Loft, I get a Reuben sandwich. Sometimes I get a Reuben sandwich when I'm at the Irish Cottage. They're all great places. You can't get a Reuben sandwich better than what used to be Tavern on the Merrimack, what used to be Frosty Mug, that as of tonight will be Fonzie's Tavern. Fonzie's, I think it's Fonzie's Tavern.
Yeah.
Come by. It's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I gotta go to the Business Alliance because I'm trying to advocate.
What is that?
It's the Methuen Business Alliance.
Something new that they did.
Yeah, I know you've said that 4 times, but
they
tell me
meet
what it is.
together and talk about businesses and how they. And I'm trying to go to see if I could get people to support the rail trail a little bit.
All right.
And listen to businesses
All right,
as
well,
a representative.
Come by after if you can.
Yeah. A pleasure having you guys. I hope.
What is this 29 homes going at the end of Washington Street?
Yeah.
Overdeveloped?
Yeah.
What is
Real
quick.
There are 29 houses when you go up Washington Street.
Okay.
In the back of Washington Street, they're gonna rip out a bunch of forest area to build 29 brand new homes. Because
single family homes.
Single family.
I'm okay with that.
Wait. Well, who's doing it? The city or
no,
private?
a developer.
And they purchased it.
Yeah.
And everything. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
all right, let's roll up, Mel. We got to get out of here. We're way over. Way. But by the way, I have to thank you.
29
Yeah.
homes?
It was a really good discussion.
Yeah.
I liked it. Not only do you talk a lot, but you listen.
Yes.
And I appreciate your candor. I think you are probably one of the more honest elected officials that we've ever had in the show.
Thank you.
And that includes all my friends. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
I'm not an ass kisser, as you know. But,
No, I know.
But I think it's important that people just be genuine and stop parsing every word and choosing every syllable and just say what you think. And sometimes when you're wrong, you go, last time I was here, I said this, and I learned that I was wrong, and that's good too.
Yeah,
so.
and I thank Methuen for everything they do. Electing me, I think I've done a good job so far. But, I do the best I can for the city, and I love my city. I want it to thrive and be the best in the Merrimack Valley. And I want to thank all my colleagues again for their support and what they do. If you want to reach me, you could. The best way you could reach me is on my cell phone. I don't know my work number, but you could call me on my personal number, 978-227-4187. You could always reach me on Facebook, and email is rdizoglio@methuen.gov. But again, thank you, Methuen, for electing me and continuing to support my community the best way I can.
All right. One more thing before we go. So it's really funny how you say things sometimes. I don't mean you, but in general. People say things sometimes. I say things sometimes. I talk for a living. And sometimes you say things and you mean it one way, and people take it a totally different way for some reason. So this happened this week, and I just want to clear it up, and I want to apologize to Mike Agricola over at Salvatore's and all the people that work there, because one of his managers came over, was having a conversation with us about food and stuff, and I made the comment, and I was trying to compliment Mike, and I was trying to compliment Salvatore's, and I said, honestly, you know what? I'm not even really a big fan of your menu, but I come because Michael's such a great guy. You're all good people here. You're all doing good for the community. And so I was trying to over-exaggerate my thoughts about Michael to let them know how much I like Michael and Philip and the people who work there. And then I saw Michael a couple of days later, and he said, I made the comment in front of him. I said, as a kind of like as a joke, I'm not really a big fan of your menu, but I love you so much. That's why I come. He goes, I know you said that to a couple of my workers, and they took it as an insult. So I just want to say I'm sorry. I didn't mean that as an insult. I really meant it as a compliment, and I probably didn't phrase it right. But it's really bizarre because this happens all the time. You see it on Facebook. On this show, people email me, say, you said this, and that means that. And I'm like, no, I meant it the opposite. Mm-hmm. So when that happens, when someone calls my attention to it, I always want to try and correct the record. Yeah. I love the food at Salvatore's, or I wouldn't eat there. Listen, there's an advertiser that I don't eat at, because we've been there a number of times.
Okay, people are gonna know.
But I'm just saying.
You only have so many food.
If I'm posting the food online and if I'm going to a place on a regular basis, it's because I love the food. And so I probably should have chosen a different kind of analogy. I was just trying to find a way to say that one of the big reasons that I come here is because of Michael and Phil and all the things that they do for the homeless.
Yeah, that's what you meant.
So the food is good. The food is great. I wouldn't take pictures of it. I wouldn't post it on Facebook. I wouldn't pump them. I wouldn't do all the things that I do if I didn't think the food was good. And I just want to apologize if people took it a different way that I meant it, I
Aw,
probably
Mama.
what?
It's like when you tell
not
people to
bad.
resign when you didn't mean it like that.
Aw.
Look how cute she is. Isn't she
Don't
adorable?
cry.
All right, let's wrap this.
Yeah.
Let's get this shindig on the road. Let's get
Yeah.
out of here.
2 hours and a half already.
2 hours
All
with me, huh?
right. If
No, you got here
if
late.
Kristen Maxwell or Maria Maria are around, you guys should meet us at the tavern tonight, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. All right, let's take our sponsors. By the way, Michael's Bistro. We'll give a free shout out to Michael's Bistro on Essex Street. It's where the old town mall used to be behind Northern Essex. Brando's Cutlets in North Andover and Haverhill. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate, Town Roofing, Chachi's Junk Removal, Boston Medical Center, love those people. Cedar View Homes in Methuen on Jackson Street. CP Connects, The Hungry Traveler in Salisbury. Vinny Pesh Law Office over there. Veteran Pathways, Tomo and Shaken Seafood. Marston and Son Construction, EIS. Investigation and Gun Training, AFC Urgent Care, I think I missed On The Go Notary, Pleasant Valley Landscaping Contractors. Gonna get David Consoli in here. Prime Insurance, the Doug Mercurio Law Office, and a free shout out to Lambert and Randone and JG's Ice Cream. It's been so hot lately, and Maria Safray brought me some JG's Ice Cream the other day. Thank you, Maria Safray. Melvin Taylor says you gotta go home, so go home already.